the colours to this mast coming into the tournament now. So I don't know whether it's a sunk cost or you cut your losses. It's just tough because, you know, the point that Tharm makes is that building around a star player is what you have to do to a degree in international football, but it's very different Argentina building around Lionel Messi because the type of player that he's become in his late career, he's the rising tide that lifts all boats, certainly in the final third. The team is geared to give him the ball and then run off him in a slightly more extreme way to maybe Kane with England, where you're using them as a creative engine, whereas with Portugal, you've just got this statue of a legend up front and everyone kind of manoeuvring around him. You've got one of the best midfields in the tournament at creation, control, some very good wingers, but it's all in service of a player who's maybe too limited to actually capitalise on it.
Does it feel like as well, obviously we were here 24 hours ago talking about the exploits of Messi, Mbappe, Haaland, we're here talking about Kane today, but those performances almost emphasise Ronaldo's drop-off even more. Yeah,
and it's fair to note that he's comfortably the oldest of all of those guys, so it's understandable that he wouldn't be at that level, but it just underlines even more so just how far away he is from that top tier now.
Hard not to compare, isn't it? What a race for the Golden Boot we have shaping up, by the way. This is after just one round of games. 8 players have 2 or more goals. Messi, of course, leading the way on 3. We've got the likes of Kane, Mbappe, Haaland, Havertz, all on 2, as are Balogun, Elijah Just, and Yassin Ayari as well. So shaping up nicely, isn't it? Obviously, it's really dependent on how far you go, isn't it?
I think Balogun's been really good for the US as well. I mean, there's probably an alternative universe where he's in that England squad or starting for England, and a player that was really good at age group levels as well, really, really promising. And he's really, I think, solved a lot of problems for the USMNT in that respect, in terms of having a clinical number 9. The second goal I think he scored as well. That
good,
foot,
yeah.
It's almost in a mould of Kane, of that kind of striker that can score so many different kinds of goals. So I think obviously I don't expect him to be the guy that wins it, but I think kind of how many goals he continues to get is going to be the real difference maker for the US going forward.
My prediction is that by the end of this tournament, the all-time record for World Cup goals will be at least 20.
Wow. So
that would require Messi to get 4 more, and Mbappe to get a few more. But there are more games in this tournament for some of these players if they go the distance.
Yeah, okay. We'll roll the tapes on that and come back to it. So now that we've seen everyone play once in this World Cup, then I've got a few quick questions for you. First of all, to me, which team has been most impressive so far?
I'm still inclined to say France, because I don't think Senegal quite got enough credit for how strong they were in that game, and also generally. Yes, France were a little bit sort of milquetoast in the first half, but when they really clicked into gear, I think they showed a higher level than anyone else has in this tournament so far, in the way that they just blew Senegal away. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I'd probably agree, but I'd put Argentina very, very close to that as well. I think a similarly convincing performance. You want your superstar to deliver, but the way the whole team functions around Messi as well, the runners off the ball that Dim spoke about, or that Toomey spoke about, the defensive block as well, really, really solid. Obviously, they conceded a goal in inverted commas that was offside early on, but looked really, really strong, and that will carry them quite far, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with both of you. I think that France and Argentina have been the most convincing contenders yet, anyway. Which team has been the biggest surprise? This could be for good or for bad. Thumb?
Well, I was quite disappointed by the Netherlands in their draw against Japan. I thought they were just really quite timid in terms of some of their approach play. A few kind of square pegs in round holes as well, having Van de Ven out wide as left back. I know he's played that role before at kind of national level, but it meant Cody Gakpo looked really disjointed and just kind of on his own on the left. Having Somerville was a really good left winger at West Ham this season, playing on the right, didn't seem to, I know he scored, but didn't seem to quite work kind of as a tactical solution. So I thought they were just a bit of a shame that there's so much talent in that team that, and in the need of a good tournament for them. I think it's been a while since they've had a really good tournament against a good Japan team, it should be said, against a very good Japan team. But I thought that was a game they should have won, and obviously were twice pegged back and dropped points.
I'm glad you said that. I was going to say you've got to give props to Japan.
Of course.
Yes.
Big Japan fan.
To me?
I'd say Ivory Coast, because I, along with seemingly everyone else in the world, picked Ecuador as dark horses.
You're going to say that.
Primarily because of their defence.
Yeah.
And I know Ivory Coast kind of rode their luck at times in that game, but they look really, really solid from back to front, and they have a player in Yan Diomande who can carry a threat against any team in the tournament. I thought what he did against what I still think is one of the most talented defences in the competition was really, really impressive. And I think they've got a great chance of getting out the group stage in quite a favourable seeding now and seeing what they can do in the knockouts.
I'm going to throw USA into the mix as well in terms of biggest surprise, because you mentioned Balogun a minute ago. Destroyed Paraguay, didn't they? And got the home crowd on their side. So who knows? What has been everyone's favourite moment of the tournament so far?
McDelivery, you in?
I'm in. Yeah, I well fancy a fillet of fish. Expand your palate.
Bring it home with McDelivery.
I enjoyed Monday having a bit of an upset with Spain, dropping points, goalless draw against Cape Verde. I always think, I mean, that is an upset.
World Cup's about stories,
yeah,
isn't it?
It is. So. And I think you always want teams. I know it's a thing of, okay, 3 teams are going to go through. It doesn't really jeopardise Spain's chances of getting through to the knockout rounds, but that's probably going to completely change if it means they finish second, going to completely change what their route to the final will look like, might put them on a completely different side of the draw. So I think that shouldn't be underestimated as well, that you want to finish, like we said, kind of in the Champions League this season as well, in the league phase of that. You want to be kind of clear and out the way of all kind of the madness that's going to come through.
Yeah.
For me, I think it was the day of superstars when you had Mbappe, Elise, and then Haaland, and then Messi. I just thought that was that was a stretch that really lit up the World Cup and really got things moving.
Yeah, and we were lucky enough to be in here yesterday morning talking about it. So, and just last one, goal of the tournament so far. Been some good goals.
It may not be the most spectacular to the eye, but France's opener, I thought, against Senegal, but Elise's pass is pass of the tournament for me so far. And it was actually a really impressive finish from Mbappe on the move, moving at a speed that only he can. So I just thought that goal, not just for the quality, but for what it showed about what that connection can do in this tournament.
Good one.
I really enjoyed Yasin Ayari's brace as well. He's been a good kind of chipping in with a few goals for Brighton this season, a good couple strikes from distance. So here's hoping he can add to that as well.
Yeah, good. A couple of good ones. You mentioned Balogun earlier. Vinicius Jr. as well. His goal kind of forgotten about just because Brazil underwhelmed a little bit, really. If you do want more on the first week of the tournament, check out Michael Cox's piece, which is entitled The World Cup So Far, Surprisingly Excellent. That is, of course, over on The Athletic. Okay, time now for our Do You Know Your Daily Trivia on day 8. So buckle up, guys. Are we ready for this one? The question today is, do you know who captained Argentina at France 98 wearing the number 8 shirt?
The number 8 shirt.
My excuse here is I wasn't even born, but...
Gosh. Think memories of this tournament, I suppose. Yeah.
I do have them. I do have memories of this tournament.
Things that
They're
stood
just
out.
very faded. Well, Argentina versus England.
Yeah.
It wasn't Almeida, was it?
No.
Number 8 shirt, I'm thinking midfield.
Yeah.
Central midfielder.
Do you want a multiple choice?
Go on. Or maybe a clue what club they played for, or what do you... What?
let's just say a manager in La Liga at the moment. Couldn't be more La Liga.
I was thinking Simeone. But
of course,
yeah.
Of course. Of course.
That's what I was saying. Memories, Beckham, the
Beckham's
red card.
kryptonite.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, there we go.
That was fun.
Yeah. Well as reporting on all the action at the World Cup, our team of reporters have also been breaking some incredible off-field stories. On Wednesday, Jacob Whitehead exclusively revealed Ivory Coast's Eli Wahi was arrested on suspicion of fixing offences less than 2 weeks before the tournament. Well, Jacob is with us now. Jacob, bring us up to speed on this story.
So this all surrounds El Yawahi, who's the starting striker for Ivory Coast at this World Cup. He helped them to a 1-0 victory.
Then it would put the winner in a terrific...
We got a feeling
from head to toe with a little bit of blue trim on the shoulders, kicking from right to left as we watch, and Switzerland, who were changed for that First game in white, now revert to their more typical strip of the red shirts, red shorts and red socks. First free kick of the game is conceded by Abisha midway inside his own half, and the referee was very quick to come across to tell him we'll have less of that. It was Abisha leaving a little bit on Aleš Begović.
I don't know what he's doing. What is he? I don't understand what he's doing. You just give a free kick in a dangerous position where Bosnia want to deliver it, and now your team have to defend. It's a needless free kick, and if they concede from here, it'll be disappointing.
A free kick conceded in the opening minute of the game, and Bosnia scored from a set piece in that game against Canada. Jovo Lukic's header from a corner. He's on the bench in Los Angeles this afternoon. But an early opportunity for Bosnia to get the ball into the penalty area. Aleš Begović delivers to the back post, not with any great quality, but there wasn't much talking there because Vidma could have easily let that go out for a goal kick. Instead, he nods it out Clinton for the first corner of the game.
Yeah, there's no communication. You can see Akanji saying time, and he's not listening. He's just thinking, I need to deal with it. And that's what he's trying to do, deal with it straight away.
Bosnia and Herzegovina have started this game the better. This Group B encounter, Switzerland and Bosnia, draws in their opening games. Corner, far side the right, not really well hit, comfortably cleared at the front post. Bosnia will pick up the pieces, centre of midfield. Driving run from Dedic to the left of the penalty area. Katic delivers, Dzeko waves a leg at it. Front post area, still there for Bosnia until Danan Doy gets his foot on the ball for Switzerland. He's fouled by Katic, and Switzerland have this free kick just inside their own half.
Yeah, been a good start from Bosnia. They're on the front foot, causing a lot of problems. Danan Doy, Katic has to bring him down because Danan Doy's got too much pace for him. But yeah, it's opening up definitely for Bosnia. Switzerland haven't started yet.
Danan Doy was more guilty than most when it came to missing chances against Qatar. He had 2 or 3 excellent opportunities. Switzerland missed a lot of chances between them, but Ndoye certainly had the better of those chances. They really should have won the game. They didn't, and Qatar had the last laugh. But Switzerland, we know, a very dangerous tournament team. They tend to make it out of the groups, but that's really as far as their adventure tends to run. They have not progressed beyond the last 16 for 72 years. Embolo, first touch of the ball in Switzerland red, just outside the Bosnia penalty area. That's a handy ball over the top, looking to get Ndoye in behind, but just fractionally overhit and into the gloves of the Bosnia goalkeeper Nikola Vasil.
Yeah, it's good play from Xhaka. He tried to play inside and using Danan Doy's pace. And Xhaka has come out and said he believes Switzerland could win the World Cup. So they are confident in that group, but they need to get a result this evening so far.
Yep, Granit Xhaka, one of several Switzerland players that believe they do have the quality to at least make it beyond the last 16. They breezed through qualifying, topping a group with Sweden, Slovenia and Kosovo, and beaten throughout, conceded just 2 goals in their 6 matches. And they're on the ball here, building slowly on their left wing, Xhaka and Rodriguez. Number 1 and number 2 on the all-time Switzerland appearance list. Xhaka, appearance number 148, and Rodriguez, appearance number 140. Now the play at the base of the centre circle with Nico Elvedi, the Borussia Mönchengladbach centre-half. Exchanges passes with Akanji, who is wandering forward at no great pace. Rodriguez, the ponytailed Rodriguez, the pink-booted Akanji, now Embolo on the edge of the penalty area. Switzerland moving this forward nicely. Vidma has space on the edge of the box, but the offside flag is up on this near side, which prematurely brings to an end a Swiss attack, Clinton, that was being constructed with no great pace.
Yeah, not great pace. Embolo is important for them, though. He's a handful. He can be a threat. He can be whatever he wants to be. He's so inconsistent, and that is why he probably has not gone to that next level at the moment, but he's a threat. And everything at the moment you can see, Chris, is going through Xhaka. He's the one dominating in midfield, and he gets people like Frola around him to do his running, and he gets on the ball to try and make things happen.
Such a brilliant season for Sunderland, where he is key in the midfield. No different for Switzerland, where he is one of, if not the most important player for the national side.
Yeah, you know what, I think I heard this the other day. I think Sunderland have 11 or 12 players at the World Cup. Can you believe that? Testament to how well of a season they've done. Yeah.
Well, they recruited so well, didn't they, Sunderland, and it is why they'll be playing in Europe next season. Switzerland 0, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0. 5 minutes in on 5 Live. Also available via the BBC Sounds app. Switzerland attacking on their left wing. Dedic hoped the ball would run out of play. It didn't, and Rodriguez wins it very quickly. Rieder now takes over. Left-hand side of the penalty area as Switzerland go from left to right. Reluctant to get the ball into the penalty area. Rodriguez, short pass. Rieder's right on the edge of the box. All of this 4 or 5 yards away from the corner flag, deep inside Bosnian territory. Now Freuler back to Rodriguez. Now he crosses with his left foot. Confusion at the back. That wasn't really well dealt with. Muharemovic getting in Katic's way, and the end result of all of that is a Switzerland corner.
Yeah, it was good build-up play, and Rodriguez, he's got a good left foot. He just delivers, but there's no communication at the back. Katic should really be talking, and he just completely misses it. Goes out for a corner.
Katic and Muharemovic exchange a little fist pump. Spider cam swoops into view at this incredibly impressive venue as Switzerland prepare for their first corner of the match. On the far side, the Switzerland left, plenty of red interspersed with the white of Bosnia. Abisha's corner is not one of his better ones, but he'll get another chance as the clearance at the front post drops straight out of play for another corner.
Yeah, I think Dzeko doesn't clear it properly and tries to go with the instep and hits the outside of his boot.
Corner taken short this time. Rodriguez has a better angle to cross to the back post. Goes a long way through the penalty area. Sunjic, formerly of Birmingham City, hacks this one away. And Switzerland will go all the way back to goalkeeper Körbel, who will start Switzerland moving forward again with a big right boot downfield. Gregor Körbel, all in light blue, picked up in midfield by Elvedi. That will be a Switzerland free kick, pulled back by Alaj Begovic. And it's Switzerland now, Clinton, who are beginning to take a little bit of control in this game. Nice ball to Ndoye, inside left channel, skips into the penalty area, try to find several runners arriving late, but that was all a little bit too intricate. Bosnia's clearance not great, and Elvedi has it back again, 35 yards out, centrally positioned, left foot shot from Xhaka, takes a deflection on its way through, off Katic, and it's out for another Switzerland corner.
Yeah, it's all Switzerland, and Bosnia can't get on the ball there. They're kind of stuck in and they can't get out, just like in the second half against Canada now, where they couldn't get out really and truly. Have to be careful, because if they concede, they'll probably go on and concede the second one. They have to try and not concede the first goal in this game.
From the pictures we can see from the Los Angeles Stadium, there are plenty of Bosnian supporters that are mixed in with the red of Switzerland, and there were certainly lots of conversations happening between the two sets of fans prior to kickoff. Switzerland goes short again on this near side, the right. The ball will be swung in by Rieder with his left foot. The quality from Switzerland's crossing has not been great so far, and Bosnia clear this relatively comfortably up to halfway. Little touch from the dangerous Kerim Alaj Begovic, just 18 years old. The Salzburg winger, he is tipped, Clinton, as Bosnia's next bright star, and given his numbers for Salzburg this season, he's going back to Bayer Leverkusen, who have a buyback clause on him, so he'll be in the Bundesliga as Bosnia get a free kick just outside their own penalty area.
Well, you must be good at 18 if you're playing in the World Cup, that's for sure. So he must be a talented individual, and the first few minutes I've seen him playing, he looks neat and tidy on the ball as well.
Switzerland have it. Left wing position again, Nottingham Forest down and Ndoye. That's a better ball in towards Embolo, hacked clear at the front post. Dzeko has to come all the way back into his defensive third to ensure Bosnia will clear, and they will do now with Tarik Muharemovic up to halfway. But it's not sticking for Bosnia at the minute, and Switzerland, it's wave after wave of red attack.
Yeah, they can't get out, to be fair. I'd leave Dzeko up the pitch and try and play it up to his feet and try and hold the ball up.
Ndoye with the blue boots into the penalty area. Muharemovic is there once again. Elvedi picks up the loose ball, central position. Xhaka, lovely ball. Ndoye's in the box, shooting chance for Adnan Ndoye. Well saved by Vasil. Or did he get a touch? It hit the side netting. Either way, decent chance Ndoye. Xhaka with a lovely pass. Ndoye, couple of touches, and the left foot shot, indeed, straight wide. No touch from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was good play from Xhaka. He's running the show. You can't give good players that much time and space, and that's what they're doing at the moment. And Adnan Ndoye, it was always going to be difficult to score from there.
Just try to squeeze it into the front post, but Nikola Vasil in the Bosnia and Herzegovina goal had that covered. Loose play at the back from the Bosnians. They're yet to settle in this game, and in the end the goalkeeper had to go long downfield looking for Demirovic, but skips beyond him, and Switzerland can start again.
Yeah, you can see Dzeko, he's saying to his teammates, let's get up the pitch, because if not, the deeper we go, the more we're not going to see any possession, and we're going to stay in our half. So he's trying to get his teammates up the pitch at the moment.
The other two teams in this group, Canada and Qatar, meet in Vancouver, 11 o'clock UK time. Ball over the top, no flag against Embolo, and then Muherovic came in with a really well-timed challenge. The flag is up now on this near side. One of those where I think the flag didn't go up straight away. It would have been tight, Clinton.
Yeah, it would have been tight, but you can see that his left foot, he is offside. It's about a couple of yards offside. So yeah, it's a hard one then, because I know you got to play on, but someone could pick up an injury like that. I've said that many a times if you see it, but I understand why they let it go on, and the manager's not happy.
He's quite a character, is Sergei Barbarez, the Bosnia and Herzegovina manager, former captain, 54 years old, appointed 2 years ago, taking over from Savo Milosevic, the ex-Aston Villa striker. Might have been just before your time, before you were tearing it up in the West Midlands, Savo Milosevic.
No, but I know Savo Milosevic. He had a great left foot. He scored some fantastic goals at Aston Villa. Yeah, it was before my time, definitely, but I used to love watching football then, and Milosevic was a hell of a striker.
He was in charge for Bosnia for a year or so, and then in came Barbarez, long-time critic of the Bosnian FA, so he'd pretty much given up all hope of managing his national team. Elite poker player.
Ah, well, there you go. That's why he's a good manager. He's got that poker face. You can't read him.
No, you can't read him. He got off with the job, promised a complete reset of the team, and that reset mainly involved recruiting players abroad that had Bosnian ancestry. 16 made the debut in his first year, and so many players have come through academies at Germany and at Sweden and America. Sons of parents who fled the Bosnian War, and now they are all together representing Bosnia and Herzegovina at their second ever World Cup, having qualified in 2014. Switzerland building, left-hand side of the penalty area. Great ball in, and Ndoye misses another one at the front post. Reeder found him, and Ndoye just couldn't sort his feet out at the front post. Had he done so, that may well have been the opening goal. Yeah,
it was good play. It was Xhaka into Reeder again, and Reeder just got 1 foot in his mouth. He gets ahead of the ball, Dan Ndoye. I don't know why he's going so early. He doesn't judge the cross, completely misses it. But they're hanging on at the moment, Bosnia. But so, yeah, Switzerland have started well, in particular Xhaka, who's running the show in midfield.
But in the opening 12, nearly 13 minutes on 5 Live, it is rinse and repeat from Switzerland's opening game, where they dominated against Qatar, created numerous chances, just couldn't take one of them. They scored the penalty that Embolo scored, and then couldn't build on that, allowing Qatar back into the game. That 11 o'clock kickoff in Vancouver, 11 o'clock UK time. Vicky Sparks and Dion Dublin will be there for us. Scotland back in action tomorrow. It's another 11 o'clock kickoff UK time. Live with us on BBC Radio 5 Live, and also available via the BBC Sounds app, which is very important over the coming days, because there is a lot of sport to keep across. The test match at the Oval, which is interestingly poised. Clinton, England closing on 222 for 6.
Yeah, it's not been the best day, New Zealand's day for sure.
Coverage continues tomorrow on 5 Sports Extra. We've got day 4 of Royal Ascot on air from 2 on Sports Extra 3. The T20 World Cup continues as well. Scotland in action as we speak at the moment against West Indies, and later in the weekend the US Open Golf from Shinnecock. Opening round currently in action. Vidmar for Switzerland, right hand side of the penalty area, digs a hopeful cross out that Bosnia cleared. Demirovic and Dzeko exchange passes, then Sunjic with the outside of his right boot, with an optimistic ball to the right wing that could turn into an excellent ball, because Bosnia have it on the right with Alej options in the middle, but he's not finding one there. Way too much on the pass. Demirovic was closest to it, but even he was a good 7-8 yards away, and that's a good opportunity wasted by Amar Memic.
Yeah, Memic has a great shot. His touch is brilliant, and he's got the pace to get past Rodriguez. I don't know why he's trying to cross the ball early. Drive into the box. Once you drive into the box, you've got to let Dzeko and the rest of the players get out with you. He gets excited. That's the best thing I could say. He gets excited, and it's a terrible cross. But he's got the pace on Rodriguez. He showed it there.
Yeah, it's certainly a mismatch in terms of age. Memic 25, Rodriguez 33. That's a battle on that wing he'll fancy.
Yeah, definitely. Age catches up with everyone and your legs do start going, but he's a good player, Rodriguez. He's got the experience, but yeah, he just got done there by Memic.
Unless you're Edin Dzeko, 40.
And he's never had the pace, Dzeko, to run away. But what he has is a great first touch, leads the line ever so well, and he's a goal scorer. And that is why he's still doing it at 40 years of age and why he's playing in the World Cup. Credit to these players that are doing it at 40 years of age. To play in this heat, in this World Cup. Testament to them.
Yeah, and there's several of them in this iteration of the World Cup as well. Bosnia in their left-back position. Kolasinac goes downfield to no great effect. And Switzerland have it in their back line with Elvedi, who wanders forward at no great pace, foot on the ball. Xhaka back to Akanji, these days of Inter Milan, where he is a Serie A winner on loan from Manchester City, albeit Inter Milan do have, I think it's an obligatory buy clause now, actually, Clinton. It was if you won Serie A, then you buy him, and that's exactly what they did. So yeah, I'm not sure Inter Milan will mind that too much. Good defending from Dedic to get in front of Rida, and Bosnia have this free kick just outside their own penalty area. 16 minutes have been played, 5 live BBC sounds. Switzerland 0, Bosnia 0.
Yeah, good defending from Dedic. It's Dan and Doyes. He touches better, he gets in on goal, but Dedic does ever so well, recovers, and then wins the free kick from Dan and Doy. That would be a good battle, because Dedic likes to get forward as well, and Doyes keeping him back at the moment.
Yeah, there's an energetic right back is Amar Dedic, a big part of Jose Mourinho's Benfica this season, Austrian-born. So many of these players have been recruited by Barbares. It was his big promise when he got the job to ensure that players that were eligible to play for Bosnia and Herzegovina at least had the option to, and so many have bought into that, Clinton, and you can see it in their performances, the way they went through qualifying. They were a goal down in the playoff semi-final down in Cardiff against Wales. Dzeko scored the equaliser. They won on penalties. They were 1 down against Italy in Zenica. They get the equaliser and then win on penalties. It's a hugely spirited side, and they are tipped to at least get through the group, and then they could trouble anyone in the round of 32 and beyond. Switzerland with possession, Abisha and Xhaka, who loops the ball over the top here for Rodriguez. No real options in front of him, so back into the central third of the field. Xhaka again with a couple of touches. All of this on the left, a couple of yards in from the touchline, and now all the way back to halfway, where Akanji skips it away from Edin Dzeko, and now all the way back to goalkeeper Kerbal. And at least Bosnia, Clinton, have seemingly sorted out their defensive frailties and look far more organised now, repelling these Switzerland attacks.
Yeah, they've got up the pitch. They've got 5 or 10 yards higher. They were too deep, and they were sitting back, and Dzeko, you can see saying to his teammates, let's get up the pitch, because the more we sit back, the more we're inviting the pressure.
Akanji with a diagonal that's beautifully hit. I thought that was overhit, but it just slows up in time. Vidma gets there by the corner flag, hammers his cross against Alaj Begovic, and Switzerland have a throw in their right wing position.
I thought the same. I thought it was going out at Akanji. Somehow it just stopped, didn't it?
Put a bit of backspin on his 9-iron there.
Yeah, he did. He's probably a proper golfer.
Yeah. Actually, it was probably more a wood, wasn't it? It wasn't much an iron. He really fizzed across the fairway and came to a halt beautifully by the corner flag. Switzerland now on their far side, the left. The green-booted Ndoye running at Dedic into the penalty area. Ndoye crosses, cleared by Katic at the front post. That's numerous times now Ndoye has got the better of his man on that far side, but numerous times the cross has not had the required quality.
No, he's causing a lot of problems. Take one-on-one with Dedic and keeps going past him at will, but it's his final ball.
Another ball to the back post. Vidma thought about volleying and in the end was caught in between several minds there. Do I volley back across goal? Do I cushion the volley back into the 6-yard box? Do I head it? And by the time he thought about all of that, it had skewed off the side of his boot and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Vidma, that looks like a centre-half who's playing out position at right-back. But then I'm not doing centre-halves credit, because some good talented centre-halves. I just think he gets it horribly wrong at that back post. Should have tried to play it back into that 6-yard box.
The voice of former Republic of Ireland striker Clinton Morrison with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, part of the Republic of Ireland side that went to Japan and South Korea in 2002. That's a very risky pass across the face of goal, and it's a chance for Ndoye, who doesn't take it. Weak right foot effort on the edge of the penalty area after Bosnia and Herzegovina had played an awful pass out from the back. What are you told? Never go across your own goal. That's exactly what Bosnia did, but Ndoye couldn't take advantage.
Yeah, it was a poor ball, and then it falls to Ndoye. He's got to be better. It's like a pass back. It gets no power, and it's a comfortable save, but he has to be better in that position. But it's a loose pass again from Bosnia.
Start season with Nottingham Forest, Dan Ndoye, only 2 goals, and the last of those 2 for Forest were in October. Didn't really establish himself, did he, in Nottingham Forest side? I mean, there were numerous managers. We know the problems that Forest had, but more often than not, he would be coming off the bench and trying to influence proceedings rather than nailing down a first-team spot. It tended to be either Callum Hudson-Odoi got a lot of the running on the wing.
Yeah, you're right. He did, and even when Hudson-Odoi got injured towards the end, Dan Ndoye found himself out of the team. So, yeah, he wants a big World Cup. If he has a big World Cup, he goes back to Forest pre-season full of confidence.
Certainly has been heavily involved in the opening 20, nearly 21 minutes at the Los Angeles Stadium, which looks pretty full. We can see a smattering of empty blue seats on screen, but lots of red and lots of blue for Switzerland and Bosnia and Herzegovina, who are doing more desperate defending on the edge of their own penalty area, hacked down clear or downfield, and Elvedi comfortably cushions a volley back to goalkeeper Gregor Köbel of Borussia Dortmund. And what a fine season he's had for Borussia Dortmund. He made 3 big saves in the game actually against Qatar before the Mulheim own goal. Could have been a pro in tennis, snowboarding, ice hockey, one of those nauseating individuals.
Yeah,
Clinton, good at absolutely everything.
Yeah, exactly, good at everything.
Yeah.
I think Bosnia need this hydration break. They do, and I know everyone's against it, but they look like they need it at the moment, because the Switzerland won't want it because they're dominating.
Well, it's not too far away, the hydration break. Not that it's needed with the temperature only just above 20 degrees, so very pleasant temperatures for these two to be playing. And it's Akanji inside the centre circle, inside the Bosnia half, going backwards of square. That's a clever ball in field to find Freuler, formerly of Nottingham Forest. The give and go with Xhaka, and Switzerland moving it nicely towards the edge of the Bosnia box. Vidma has space, right-hand angle of the penalty area. 3 players to aim for in red, it's over them all. And Ndoye will scamper across to the far side and keep Switzerland moving forward. 0-0 with Bosnia and Herzegovina. Freuler lines up the shoot and does, and it's only just wide. Well, he thought, why not? From all of 35 yards out, Remo Freuler hits it well, but it's always creeping a couple of yards wide, and it remains 0-0.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, you can't keep giving him that much time and space, because in the end you will get punished, but he's always bending wide, Freuler.
And just as Clinton called, we have our first drinks break, the first hydration break. And just having a quick listen across to see if there are many boos. No, not a great deal. They were vociferous in the Czech Republic South Africa game, but not so much here. So the players troop across to this near side to get some drinks and also some tactical instructions.
The country. Big incentive too for the team who wins Group B, because they would have their first 2 knockout games up in Vancouver.
Yeah, it makes a difference, the temperature. The temperature is lower, certainly lower over here. The sun's not shining as much as some of the places that we've seen.
This is the first of 2 games in this group today, and it was all square on 1 point apiece after the first round of games. Canada, the co-hosts, and Qatar in the Section 2. Mainly the Swiss in the attack here. That was Dan Ndoye there with what may have been their most presentable chance, but pretty soft finish, Lucy.
Yeah, and it's just, again, it's about being clinical. You know, lots of chances again, like they had against Qatar, to make it out of sight, but haven't managed to. And, you know, Bosnia have struggled to get out. Swiss don't really feel threatened, so they're right up against them. So whenever Swiss lose it, they just counter-press. They just win the ball back straight away. They've got that many bodies up there, but for them, it's about being clinical now.
Well, don't forget your chance to win £75,000 and a trip for 2 to New York to watch the World Cup final on the 19th of July. Special prizes up there to be won for you. A single entry by text or online costs £2.50 plus your standard rates message for texts. Entries close at 10 a.m. on Monday the 6th of July. Post closes at 12 p.m. on Thursday 9th of July. Entrance must be 21 or over. Head to the website or scan the QR code for full entry details. There is a great World Cup feel here. When we arrived in town, it was the Tuesday night pub quiz in Manhattan Beach, a 10-minute drive from here. A World Cup theme, so expectations were high for Team ITV, but I am pleased to report that we came home with first prize.
Yeah, we weren't the most popular people in that pub, I have to say. Well, they didn't call it a pub, did they?
Very swift exit from the very cool Californian beachside bar. All the stats so far in the game heavily weighted in Switzerland's favour. At the World Cup for a 13th time. Furthest they've been is the quarter-final stage. The last time they went that far was over 70 years ago when they were hosts. They lost that quarter-final 7-5 against Austria in Lausanne, the highest scoring game in World Cup history, with 9 goals in the first half alone. No goals here as of yet in LA.
Switzerland will have in the back of their mind that they were punished for not taking advantage of the times of the game that they were on top and conceding that late equaliser. It's imperative, whilst they are in the ascendancy now, that they take advantage and put one in the back of the net.
Not seen much of Brereton Bodo so far in the game, just 7 touches in fact in his first half up until now, for a player who really is their main source of a goal threat.
The space is wide and they actually work in those wide areas really well. Nice opposite movement. Just needs to make sure he's ready for the cutbacks and the crosses.
Pass there was just behind him from Xhaka. On the tournament stage for quite some time now. Brereton Bodo, we scored 3 World Cup goals, 2 in Qatar 4 years ago and 1 here. And given away that time by Begovic. Here's Mbomo. That's very good defending by Muhamovic to get back and win it back. Begovic. Xhaka there in a wide position, finding Begovic. Now Memic. Kolasinac. Memic, who switched wings for the time being. Šunjić. Begovic, very skillful wide player. The best ball though, Granit Xhaka.
He's had to do a lot of defending. Begovic managed to see him up the other end of the pitch because he's certainly got the tricks. The next big thing, the most natural gifted attacker they've had in a long time, Bosnia.
He's born in Germany, moving to Bayer Leverkusen after the World Cup from Salzburg in Austria.
It's actually a man dressed as a cow ringing those bells.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully at half-time someone's over there to have a word with him. It's Muhamovic. Memic. Xhaka into Rieda. Šunjić battling away. Foul given against Ivan Šunjić. Played almost 200 games.
I forgot that I'd scored against them, but I do remember him playing in it because him and his brother, they're both talented individuals.
Yes, the other Yakin brother was much more advanced, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, you're right.
But Murat Yakin, 49 caps for Switzerland, the centre-half. He was a surprise appointment 5 years ago now, given he was managing in the Swiss second tier, but His standing in Switzerland has never been higher, courtesy of the very solid job that he's been doing over the years. Switzerland, perennial qualifiers for major tournaments. They just don't tend to stay around for very long, given their record in knockout games, having not progressed beyond the last 16 in a World Cup for 72 years. They last reached the quarter-final when they hosted back in 1954. They're having the better of this game, but they haven't really created anything clear-cut. And looking at the statistics, no surprise to see nearly 60% possession for Switzerland, but just 2 attempts as opposed to Bosnia's 1. And that's an indication, Clinton, of the game that we're witnessing. We're yet to see it spark into life.
Yeah, you're right. And to be fair, Bosnia, they haven't played well and they've been poor in possession, but they'll be happy. How many times has the goalkeeper had to make saves? Switzerland really haven't tested him, so they'll be disappointed. Have most of the possession, but haven't really worked the goalkeeper.
Bosnia on the ball now. Katic all the way back to goalkeeper Vasil. Nikola Katic, somewhat of a cult hero at Rangers and at Plymouth, league title winner with Rangers. You might remember his Plymouth days. He made his debut against Liverpool in that FA Cup win.
I do remember Katic.
Bosnia on the attack. Dzeko, left-hand edge of the penalty area, onto his right foot, dink to the back post. Arriving late and at great speed was Tahirirovic. Didn't really get any contact with the volley. That was half a chance. And now the looped ball into the penalty area. Comfortable for Gregor Kurbil. But really, the first sign of life from Bosnia moving forward.
Tahirirovic should have done much better. He kind of pulled out of it. I think he was worried that Dan Ndoye, but it was brilliant play from Dzeko. He gets into the box, he twists one way, twists the other, and dinks it up to the back post. He probably wants that kind of service to him, but he can't be everywhere on the pitch. But good play from Dzeko.
Yeah, that is the kind of cross that Dzeko has thrived on in his long and illustrious career. Bosnia have some more defending to do. Rodriguez just played it slightly behind everyone in red inside the penalty area, and Bosnia hack it clear to comparative safety. And we get a shot of 18-year-old Kerim Alajbegovic on this left-hand side. Scored penalties in the shootouts against Wales and Italy. Such great responsibility for someone so young. Switzerland continue to probe on the edge of the Bosnia penalty area. It's with Rieder and now Freuler to Akanji, just to the left of the centre circle. Switzerland 0, Bosnia 0. Most of the Switzerland attacking has come at this sort of tempo, almost at walking pace. Freuler ambling towards the edge of the Bosnia penalty area, offloads to Abisha, who'll keep the move progressing to the left. The ball slightly behind Rodriguez. Nothing is being hit with any great quality from those in red. The Bosnia fans whistling because Switzerland are keeping very safe possession. Akanji wanders through a gap and then goes all the way back to the base of the centre circle. There's no real penetration from Switzerland at the moment.
No, you're right. And the tempo's slow. It's proper slow, and it's easier for Bosnia. They have to move the ball quicker, Switzerland.
They are moving it from left to right, but at a very, as Clinton says, slow tempo. Vidma bursts into the penalty area, seen away by Amel Memic, and out of play for a Switzerland throw midway inside the Bosnia half. And the hydration break, as we know, often used as a tactical timeout as well, but pattern hasn't really changed from Switzerland, and you'd have thought that Mirat Yakin would have wanted a lot more pace to his nation's attacking.
Yeah, they're just not doing good enough in that final third, and that was the struggle in the first game against Qatar, where they were dominating possession, but they weren't ruthless enough.
Xhaka closed down very quickly by Ahmedin Demirovic, one of those Bosnia players on a yellow card, incidentally, alongside Nikola Katic and Jovo Lukic, who's on the bench. So either of those get a yellow card, then they will miss the final group game against Qatar next Wednesday, an 8 o'clock kickoff in Seattle. Here's Ndoye, after a bright start has faded, gets to the byline, another low ball in, another one dealt with by Tarek Muharemovic, and another one that Switzerland might want back, having been in a very promising position. Off they go again on the left wing, out of play for a Switzerland throw. If they're going to score, Switzerland, you feel it's going to come from that left-hand side.
Yeah, because Dan Ndoye looks the most likely. He's going past him so easily, and he's crossing. His final pass or his final cross hasn't been good enough. He's hitting the first man too often.
Slightly surprised he's not tried a different avenue then. All the crosses have been that way, all of them comfortably cleared. maybe lift one to the back post.
Yeah, and I actually think he's trying, but he's on his weaker left foot. So maybe I'd swap the wingers around. You know, just give them a different headache. I know he's having a bit of joy on there, but swap the wingers around and just let Bosnia keep thinking.
Switzerland 0, Bosnia 0. This middle match of Group B. The other two teams in this group get going in Vancouver in around 2.5 hours time. Vicky Sparks and Dion Dublin bringing us that on BBC Radio 5 Live, and football through the night as well, with the two winners from the opening round of matches in Group A going head to head. That's Mexico and South Korea. 2 o'clock in the morning, Lee Blakeman and Charlie Adam guiding you through that. And incidentally, it's very difficult to plot paths through this tournament because of the third place teams, but the second place team in this group plays the second place team in the Mexico-South Korea group. Switzerland have a corner that they forced on that far side, the left. Abisha is over it. His quality hasn't been great. That's better underneath the crossbar, but Dzeko, who is such a presence in both boxes, heads that away at the front post with minimal fuss. Switzerland build again through the central third. Ball from left to right. Xhaka outside of the boot. Ball with his left foot is a teaser. Goalkeeper meets it with two gloves. Drops to Ndoye on the edge of the penalty area. No real angle to shoot or cross, but gets it back from Abisha. Drives another low ball in. Gets the dreaded double kiss off Katic. And Switzerland, that promising attack again, comes to 0, and it remains scoreless with 36 minutes played.
Abisha, I've watched him in 2 games. I don't know what he brings to Switzerland. I'm looking at the wingers that they've got on the bench, and there's better options than him at the moment. I don't know if he was good in their qualifying, but since I've seen him in these first 2 games, he's been non-existent in both games. So it's something that Ekin would have to look at maybe at half-time or possibly after 60 minutes and make a change if Switzerland haven't scored.
29-year-old Pisa midfielder. He was actually relegated with Pisa from Serie A this season, not just relegated. They were the Wolves of Serie A this season, Pisa. They were bottom, and comfortably bottom. You do wonder when you take that sort of club form into a World Cup whether it would affect you, or is it a clean slate and actually it's probably for the better?
No, I understand it's a clean slate, but he hasn't really showed me anything like, so it's a bit of a hangover.
Bosnia attacking, which we haven't said a great deal in this first half. That's 37 minutes old. Memic cutting in field, right foot effort that's easily saved by Kerbal. Well, it was worth a go from a good 35 yards out. Amon Memic cutting in field from his right wing home, but a very comfortable save for Kerbal at his front post.
Yeah, Kerbal's a top goalie. Against Qatar, he made some big saves in the game that I covered. Memic is just coming in and he's trying to score. He's got no chance of scoring there because he's running across the pitch and he's falling over. But that's a frustration. That's someone who said, I haven't had a lot of the ball, let me try and get my shot away.
7 minutes to play until half-time. Tomorrow on 5 Live, tomorrow evening, USA, Australia. So USA play their second game after that hugely impressive win against Paraguay. They are up against Australia. They actually beat Paraguay in this stadium. The Los Angeles Stadium has seen 2 very good games, 4-1 USA Paraguay and 2-2 Iran New Zealand. Safe to say this one hasn't quite hit the heights of those two.
Dark horses USA. You need to watch them. They've got a very good 11 and some good players that can come off the bench.
Angle of the penalty area, Switzerland building here, again with no great tempo. Freuler with his right boot, short pass. Xhaka hits the referee. That will be a drop ball in Switzerland's favour. It was a good ball to the referee, actually, because he'd taken up a nice position in the number 10. But it prevented Ndoye. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Terrible touch from the referee. What's he doing? He's got the special boots on as well, the old school Adidas, and he can't control it.
He has got the old school black boots on. You don't see too many of those in this World Cup because it's the pink boots are very much in vogue.
They are. I've not seen one black boot, I've got to say, and now I'm going to look out for it, Chris. That's what I think. That's what I'm going to do now for my rest of my time on watching the World Cup. How many black boots can we see?
Black boots are the new white boots, aren't they?
Yeah,
remember back in the day, if you wore white boots, you had to be a player.
Yeah, you had to be a player.
Now it's the other way around. If you wear black boots, you've got to be a player.
Yeah.
Here's Rodriguez in the pink boots and Ndoye in the blue. Left-hand angle of the penalty area as Switzerland go from left to right. Ndoye's actually had the beating of Memic or Dedic on that far side more often than not, although he doesn't get the decision here, much to his disgust. and it's out for a goal kick. It's just that end product that's lacking at the minute.
Yeah, but I think that might be given now, you know, because... Oh no! It's if it's a,
yes, they
it's
can't
the other
give
way
it.
round. It's the other way round. Yeah,
Yep.
It's the other way round. Yeah, if it's in Switzerland's advantage.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Very much in keeping with VAR's killjoy
Yes,
attitude.
it is.
They can't give corners.
They can't give it. Yeah,
they can take them away.
Exactly. Strange one, but I get it. There's a few rules I do like where you have to hurry off the pitch and can't waste time with the substitution. And if you go down injured, a minute. I do like that because you see a lot of players that are not going down injured at the moment.
That's right. Yep, the initiative is introduced to speed up the game is certainly no bad thing.
Exactly.
5 minutes to play until half-time. 5 live in BBC Sounds. 0-0. Switzerland, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia win the ball back on the edge of the Swiss penalty area. Alaj Begovic on his right foot, give and go with Demiric. Gets it back now, the youngster, onto his right foot, back onto his left. Dzeko swings the left boot at it. That's blocked at source and out for a throw to Bosnia. That all came for some very lapsed Switzerland defending on the edge of their own box.
Yeah, Alaj Begovic does well, but Dzeko has a moan at him. He's saying, giving me the ball earlier. He wanted it literally 2 seconds before that, and he's having a right go at him. It's a good block, but he's got to pass it, the young man, earlier.
Is this the spark that Bosnia need to score the opening goal of this game? Ball on this near side, the left. Memic crosses towards Demirovic. He had no real chance of getting on the end of that, given he was surrounded by 3 Swiss players. It drops out for a goal kick, and Sergei Barbarez is furious. He was hopping mad, dancing around. I think he wanted a bit more possession.
Exactly that. What he's saying is using his hand, saying let's play and pass the ball a bit more. We're not passing it at all, Bosnia. He said that's not probably how he sets his team up. So he is frustrated at the moment.
Had a very difficult start to life as Bosnia manager did Sergei Barbarez. Winless in the first 8 matches, heavily criticised. But he said, listen, keep the faith. I'll keep recruiting and we'll turn good. That's exactly what's happened, and now he is revered in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and you can understand why. We have 4 minutes to play until half-time. It hasn't been a classic World Cup encounter. Game number 26 of the World Cup. Yet to see any goals, and yet to see anything you'd call a big opportunity. Bosnia attacking far side the right. It's with Dedic approaching the edge of the Switzerland penalty area, then stands on the ball, very much in keeping with what we've seen so far, and Switzerland win the ball back relatively easily.
You know what, Kelly Cates, that's why she's the best, because she did say it, and now I'm going to have to answer things at half-time, so maybe I might leave the venue at half-time when she comes to me.
No, please don't do that.
Nah, I won't do that.
I'll miss you.
I won't do that, mate. I'm here to the bitter end, but she's right. She did call it, didn't she?
She did. And the moment you said there'd be goals,
I knew.
We worried.
We were worried. We will get goals, maybe just... I said we get goals, I didn't say which half.
That's very true. That's very true. And by the looks of things, we won't be getting any in this half, as Akanji goes all the way back to goalkeeper Kerbel, who's on the edge of his own penalty area. Now Akanji again, it's strangely flat. It is at walking pace at the back, almost like Switzerland have a 4-goal lead and now they're just conserving energy. In such an important game for both, if this were to end in a draw, then it would leave both sides on 2 points, and that's just not enough going into the final game, and the pressure would be on. Better from Bosnia, lovely touch, and it's Kolasinac into the penalty area. He went for the pass. Maybe he was better off going for goal. It opened up for Kolasinac inside the penalty area. Maybe he was better off swinging a left foot at it, went for the intricate pass off a Swiss defender, corner Bosnia.
Yeah, Vidmar does well to get back, but it's good play, and Kolasinac, I can see what he's doing. He's probably not confident to get his shot away, and he's looking for Dzeko, who scores goals, but really good defending from Vidmar. He gets back ever so well, but better play from Bosnia.
Yet to find the net in a Bosnian shirt, which is a surprise. Said Kolasinac, 67th cap this afternoon. Aleš Begovic over the corner, short into the front post. That was read by Switzerland, and in fact the free kick is conceded. And after all that build-up, that whole passage of play rather sums up the first half. Instead of putting the ball into the penalty area, Alaj Begovic goes for the short one, doesn't really hit it. Switzerland win the free kick, and we've got 30 seconds of the first half to play.
Too many set-piece coaches now are getting involved, and I can guarantee the set-piece coach said, let's do that. Put the ball into the box first and go and test Switzerland and get the centre-backs up there and see if you can get your header on the first ball. Just like England did yesterday with Declan Rice, great ball, and Harry Kane scores.
Yeah, and both of these sides took the lead courtesy of set pieces in their opening games. Switzerland from the penalty spot, Bosnia and Herzegovina from a corner that was flicked on at the front post and then turned home by Jovo Lukic, who is on the bench. Switzerland continuing this very pedestrian pace inside the Bosnia half. We've played 45 minutes, 3 minutes of added on time at the end of this first half, and I think that probably shows you, because that 3 minutes is just to cater for the hydration break that's 3 minutes long. There's been nothing else of note really to delay the game.
Yeah, and usually, even when there's nothing of note, the hydration usually is 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So that means the referee's even saying, this game's not the best, so let's get in at half-time, and then we can get a better second half.
Yeah, when the referee's getting bored, you know you're in trouble.
Exactly.
Ball headed back by Elvedi, and Gregor Kurbel in the Swiss goal has it at his feet with the yellow boots and the bright orange gloves. Waiting for something to happen are the, I'd say, 60-odd thousand that are in the Los Angeles stadium. And Doi now, edge of the penalty area, left foot, forced wide, and Sunjic will rob him of possession, or should have done. Wants the free kick to Sunjic, doesn't get it, and this means still there's some defending for Bosnia to do that Alaj Begovic does tidily enough, utilising his goalkeeper. But it's back with Switzerland again. Xhaka, clever ball. Rodriguez has space. What's this cross like? Better! Oh, and Bolo had it taken off his head. Excellent defensive header from Memic, who is in the right place at the right time. Had he not got that right, that could have been a free header.
Yeah, it's good defending from Memic. He does ever so well, and it would have been a free header, most definitely. You can see both sides are lacking quality in that final third, and it's showing. It's showing massively, and I think it's down to Switzerland to make the running, because Bosnia will fancy their chances against Qatar in the last game, and if Canada do beat them, it could be Canada against Switzerland, and Canada have got some good players that can cause problems, so it's a big game for Switzerland in particular.
Canada in action against Qatar, 11 o'clock UK time. Offside flag up on that far side to prematurely bring an end to a Bosnia attack. Switzerland-Canada is the final game in the group in Vancouver, so Switzerland going to the host, going to Vancouver. That's next Wednesday, 8 o'clock kickoff. The final group games, as we are very used to, will kick off simultaneously. Bosnia, Qatar in Seattle, Switzerland, Canada in Vancouver, 8 o'clock next Wednesday. And there will be some interesting final games, you'd imagine, across all the groups. And Doi inside the box, and another one comes off his foot and out for a goal kick. There have been bits and pieces for Switzerland, but it's all very clunky and it's all very disjointed. And with 20 seconds of the first half to play, you fancy as soon as Nikola Vasil boots downfield, that'll be half-time.
Yeah, you're right. It's lacked quality, the game. You can see both teams. And you would say, are they struggling with the heat? But no, it's not the heat that's playing it. They're just lacking in quality. Don't get me wrong. It is hot and it is a bit of a problem. But Danan Doi's probably looked the most likely, but he struggled in the final third.
Referee puts his whistle to his lips and brings to an end, sadly, a rather soporific first half in Los Angeles. The big build-up, but the football hasn't delivered. It is, and it is very, Switzerland 0, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0. Switzerland have dominated the ball. They have had the half chances, really.
Over Ecuador a few days ago, and he actually spent the second half.
Okay, time now for our Do You Know Your Daily Trivia on day 8. So buckle up, guys. Are we ready for this one? The question today is, do you know who captained Argentina at France 98 wearing the number 8 shirt?
The number 8 shirt.
My excuse here is I wasn't even born, but...
Gosh. Think memories of this tournament, I suppose. Yeah,
I do have them. I do have memories of this tournament.
Things that
They're
stood
just
out.
very faded. Well, Argentina versus England.
Yeah.
It wasn't Almeida, was it?
No.
Number 8 shirt, I'm thinking midfield.
Yeah.
Central midfielder.
Do you want a multiple choice?
You know me too well.
Go on. Or maybe a clue what club they played for, or what do you?
So let's just say a manager in La Liga at the moment couldn't be more La Liga.
I was thinking Simeone, but
of course,
yeah.
of course. Of course.
That was what I was saying. Memories Beckham, the
Beckham's
red card.
kryptonite.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, there we go.
That was fun.
The monster that was Tunisia, this consistent, defensive, tactical, physical team that has, in the last 2 World Cup qualifying cycles, conceded 3 goals in 18 matches. That is psychotic. They didn't concede a single goal in World Cup qualifying this cycle. Now they had we've hit a giant, incredibly consistent, good, not great team, right? They won the African Championship in 2004, but since then they have only managed to get past the quarterfinals once. And the AFCON, it happens every 2 years. It's happened more than every 2 years since 2004 when they won their home African Championship. That was their lone African Championship in history. And in the past 2, they've gone group stage, round of 16, which is obviously bitterly disappointing. But you can see just based off the number of fucking quarterfinals here, then when they got to the semis, they ended up in 4th place, that this is a team with remarkable consistency, right? They are now playing in their 3rd straight World Cup. They made 3 straight World Cups from 98.
As well as reporting on all the action at the World Cup, our team of reporters have also been breaking some incredible off-field stories. On Wednesday, Jacob Whitehead exclusively revealed Ivory Coast's Eli Wahi was arrested on suspicion of fixing offences less than 2 weeks before the tournament. Well, Jacob is with us now. Jacob, bring us up to speed on this story.
So this all surrounds El Yawahi, who's the starting striker for Ivory Coast at this World Cup. He helped them to a 1-0 victory over Ecuador a few days ago. And he actually spent the second half of last season on loan at Nice from Eintracht Frankfurt. He's had a fairly sort of winding career in the French leagues before that, but he's still only 23. The story which we've reported is that just 2 weeks before the World Cup started, Wahi was arrested by French anti-corruption police. The allegations surround alleged spot fixing in a game which Wahi played in against Metz on May 17th, in which he's accused of deliberately getting a yellow card in the 34th minute. After that, 12 days later, Nice had a relegation playoff against Saint-Etienne. Wahi had been suspended for the first leg a few days before, but in the second leg, he actually was man of the match. He scored 2 goals. But straight afterwards, he was arrested then by French police on suspicion of these fixing charges. Now, it should be stressed that Wahi, while he's been arrested in connection with this, and the investigators, they've been told by the Marseille Public Prosecutor's Office, are looking at allegations of organised fraud, organised sports corruption, and handling of proceeds of crime. Wahi has not been charged and he's been released from custody after a few days, which means that Wahi has been allowed to travel to the United States for this World Cup.
Right, okay. For those that might not know, explain a little bit more about what spot fixing, especially in football, actually is.
So spot fixing is really a form of match fixing. Match fixing is the process of, or as we generally know it, match fixing is trying to, I guess, manipulate the overall result of a game. So, for example, deliberately losing a match. Spot fixing relates to any sort of market within that. And because of the growth of the gambling industry, and especially the data companies which power it, there's so many of these markets available now. People know that you can bet on next goal scorer, the number of yellow cards, the number of corners, and spot fixing is effectively manipulating any of that latter group. It can be much easier for fixers to organise spot fixing than match fixing, because rather than potentially having to get a whole team in on it to concede X number of goals, you only really would need one player to deliberately get a yellow card or to potentially contribute towards having a large number of corners. And there can be pretty lucrative markets to do with this just because of the specificity of some of the potential outcomes.
And is there a sort of precedent for a story like this in football, and which sports are most affected by spot fixings?
Yeah, there are a few. I mean, to start with a number of sports, I remember I did a series about fixing earlier this month, and I spoke to one expert who said it's in every sport, in every continent. Now, the only reason that we can't find it is because we may not have the monitoring systems yet. Now, There's one really interesting case in football recently, which happened in the Australian A-League, which involved players for MacArthur FC. And that was to do with the team in total earning a total number of yellow cards or conceding a certain numbers of corners. And when you go through, I got access to the court documents of these, and you can sort of see the mechanisms through which this really unfolds. So there's a ringleader who was in contact with a Colombian source, and then the ringleader, the captain, who was actually a former Chelsea trainee called Ulises de Villa, was then recruiting other players who they gave nicknames to, like the Butcher. They're communicating via emojis. And anyway, all 3 players ended up pleading guilty to the offences in that. The second 2, I suppose, less integral members have already been sentenced, and De Vere is currently awaiting sentencing now. But it just shows, I guess, how easy it is for this kind of corruption to overtake a football club.
And just how much of a growing concern is spot fixing in sport?
Definitely a growing concern, mostly because of just this evolution of both the gambling market and the data market, who are then selling that information to the bookmakers. The specificity of some of the markets on offer are so minuscule. In a way, that means that the potential profits are even larger. Think about sports like tennis or baseball, where after every play, the odds effectively reset. A player could potentially manipulate that without even needing to lose the game as a whole. If you say to a tennis player, I want you to lose the 7th game of the match, but then go on to win the game or win the match overall, that's a lot easier to sell to a player than potentially saying lose the match altogether. So effectively, it's supposed that when you have this blank spot, when there's more opportunity for athletes, and when it's difficult for regulators to keep up with this explosion in information, something not helped by the rise of US prediction markets, which currently aren't covered by the existing regulators, then it means really that it's a real scramble to prevent potential cases of spot fixing occurring.
Thanks, Jacob. Yeah, a complex story. If you do want more on this, then check it out over on The Athletic.
McDelivery, you in?
I'm in. Yeah, I well fancy a fillet of fish. Expand your palate.
Okay, before we go, it is time now to look ahead and focus on today's star of soccer. And we are focusing on South Korea's Lee Kang-in. His profile, I'm told, was written by Liam Tharm, but that is not correct.
No, so Tom Harris, one of our great data tactics writers, he's actually written it. I have written on Lee Kang-in before, but I don't know how this mix-up has occurred, so I will give Tom his flowers as a lovely piece, or his profile if anyone wants to read that.
Okay, well, South Korea play Mexico in Group A. Both teams in a really good position after winning their opening matches. So this actually could be the standout game of the day. In terms of Lee Kang-in then, got an assist in his team's opener, a 2-1 victory over the Czech Republic. What else can you tell us about him?
Yeah, the assist kind of typifies the way he plays. He's quite a diminutive midfielder, really nice kind of chipped passing behind. He's a really talented, really good technical left footer. One of the unsung heroes really for PSG in recent years as well, since he moved over from La Liga. He plays a lot in Liga because I think kind of the physicality of the Champions League can be a bit kind of much for him. He can get a bit swallowed up in those games. There was even a period a couple years ago where Luis Enrique played him as a false 9 and it just didn't quite work at all. Of course, going to the French league where it's, I think, still quite intense, but not quite at Champions League level, he really kind of thrives and shines there. So he plays really regularly and is a really key part. So a real kind of phenomenal technical player who was good at youth level as well, played for South Korea at under 20 level, had a really good World Cup, I think, back in 2019.
Won the Golden Ball.
Yeah, so really, really good, really promising. And often, actually, I think you don't tend to get that many players that perform that well at the youth level, kicking on and always achieving at senior level. Sometimes it's the late bloomers that do best. But yeah, he's a really promising player.
I think he won the Golden Ball in that tournament. Erling Haaland won the Golden Boot.
There you go.
In good company. To me, is his role all about supporting Heung-min Son? Because I think, he's their star player, isn't he?
Yeah, although I think there may be a little bit of a changing of the guard there. Lee Kang-in is clearly the future and maybe the present of this team. It's a shame, really, that we don't see more of him, as you say, in the Champions League, because I think if he were playing for a slightly lesser club, he would be a key player on the European stage as well. I just really like him. I think he's a really elegant, tidy technical midfielder who's got a real eye for a creative pass. So hopefully we see a bit more of that in this group stage.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing him in action later. And I feel like this has been good, guys, because we've started on a real positive today after England.
Yeah, that's what you get when you get Liam's in the room.
Two Liams.
The
two
Liam
Liam
T
Ts.
effect, yeah.
Well, thank you to the both of you. Thanks to Jack, Nick and Jacob as well. And a reminder for you watching that the Athletics coverage throughout the World Cup is completely free over on our app. So don't miss out. You can watch or listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, and do subscribe as well to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, because like I mentioned yesterday, we are closing in on 300,000 subscribers. Ian Irving will be with you tomorrow. Catch you soon. Thanks for watching this episode of the Athletic FC podcast. You can watch or listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Hello and welcome to the Athletic FC podcast with me, Emma Payton. England are off to a flyer, a 4-2 win over Croatia and 2 goals for Harry Kane.
To 2006, right? They have been one of the most regular qualifying nations from Africa for the World Cup, which is amazing because despite the fact that they have played at 2, 3, 1, they've played at 6 World Cups, they have won a total of 3 matches and never made it out of the group, right? And their win at the last World Cup was supposed to be one that was a launching pad. It was against France, but of course France had already qualified. And so you can put a little asterisk maybe next to that because France wasn't exactly trying their absolute hardest. But this run of what this team has been was made predominantly with the same collection of players, right? There was a spine to this team. There was a large number of players, from Yassine Maria to Ali Maloul to Farjani Sassi, right, to Naeem Sliti. These guys that have been on the team for a long time and are now all in the recent call-up section. That's because after AFCON, Sabri Lamouchi was brought in to usher in a new era of Tunisian football, right? Gone was this spine of players, you know, kind of the last remnants of this run of players that had created the monster that was Tunisia, this consistent, defensive, tactical, physical team that has, in the last 2 World Cup qualifying cycles, conceded 3 goals in 18 matches. That is psychotic. They didn't concede a single goal in World Cup qualifying this cycle. Now, they had a fairly easy group. Equatorial Guinea was their pot 2 team, and they kind of fell apart. Even though they looked like they had a decent chance to give Tunisia a run for their money, they ended up getting a points deduction and everything went to hell, right? So it wasn't the most competitive group, but they didn't concede a single goal. It was them and Ivory Coast are the only 2 teams in Africa, and I think the only 2 teams in qualifying anywhere that just didn't concede. And so that spine was still very functional. And at AFCON, they had the lead in stoppage time in that round of 16 match before Mali scored in stoppage time and then won on penalties. And I have a feeling if they'd made the quarterfinal, they might not have been so hasty as to fire their manager. But then they did. They brought in Sabri Lamouchi. And this is a team that did not have like the best run up to the World Cup either, while it was integrating this youth.
In the first game.
Obviously the one, you know, the iconic kind of image of him is in the Anfield dressing room with with Red Bull, kind of mixing a bit of German.
Bekovic does.
And this won't surprise anyone around.
Double kiss off Katic.
Before to beat the West Indies.
Sorted out their defensive frailties and look.
And until 78 minutes in last week, Canada were again drawing blanks.
From there.
Of course, famously like to make jokes about themselves being exceptionally nice, but maybe this is not the occasion for it. It's Canada against Qatar. Joe, thank you very much. Dion, thank you very much. We'll join you and Vicky for commentary of this one a little bit later on. Meanwhile, we're going to head back to the game that's taking place in Los Angeles. It's Switzerland against Bosnia. It's already kicked off, so have we missed a goal, Clinton Morrison and Chris Coles?
We've missed 2 goals, Kelly. You've missed us. No, not really. My predictions are fine. Tell Dion Dublin. We'll get a goal.
We were quite happy for you to keep talking for 45 minutes, to be honest. Thank you. We're a minute in. You've not missed anything. Switzerland 0, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0, and we are hoping that the second half is considerably better than the first half, but based on the opening minute, it's not going to be, because Gregor Köbel is stationary inside his own penalty area. The Switzerland goalkeeper now goes long downfield, and Xhaka takes up the running in the middle of the Bosnia half. No changes at the break. I'll run you through the 2-11s in a sec as Rodriguez swings the ball into the box, headed away. Freuler can't get on the end of the loose ball, and the white shirts with a little bit of blue trim, white shorts, white socks of Bosnia and Herzegovina can move away from danger, not very successfully. His Reader didn't really hit that with any quality towards the edge of the box, and Sunjic can skip away with it, the former Birmingham City midfielder. Dzeko, lovely touch on the turn, then he's fouled on halfway, and that will be a free kick to Bosnia. The two captains exchange a HUD, Xhaka and Dzeko. Lovely turn and spin that, Clinton. A real quality piece of play from Dzeko to win his side a free kick.
And that's what they need to do more of. Get the ball up to Dzeko. He will protect it. He's not running away from people anymore, but one thing he is, when it comes into him, his technique's really good.
So no changes at the break, as Switzerland in their red shirts, red shorts and red socks go from right to left and win a free kick just inside the Bosnia half. Köbel, the goalkeeper, Vidma, Elvedi, Akanji and Rodriguez, Abisha, Freuler, Xhaka, Ndoye, Reader and Embolo. And Bosnia with Vasil in goal, Dedic, Katic, Muharemovic and Kolasinac across the back. In midfield, Memic, Sunjic, Tahirovic and Alej Begovic, with Demirovic and Dzeko. Options on the bench for Switzerland include the likes of Noah Okafor, who's had a brilliant season for Leeds, didn't play a minute of the game against Qatar, is nursing a little bit of an injury, and you suspect, Clinton, that is the reason he didn't play, because there's been a bit of history between Okafor and Switzerland. He fell out with Murat Yakin, then there seemingly was this truce where he was recalled to the squad but then didn't play in the opening group game, so presumably there's an injury there.
Yes, hopefully. Well, he did miss a few games towards the end of the season for Leeds, so he might be coming in with an injury, because I don't understand how you can call him up. And the season he's had at Leeds, he's more affected than any of the wingers I've seen start over the last 2 games for Switzerland.
Switzerland on the edge of the Bosnia box. It bounces off Embolo, who didn't really have much of a hope of controlling that. Nikola Vasil in the Bosnia goal is all in yellow. He feeds a pass out to left-back Said Kolasinac, beg your pardon, Memic to come forward. Now Sunjic, who had 5 years at St Andrews with Birmingham City, and it was a very profitable 5 years. He was a player that the Birmingham City fans really enjoyed.
Yep.
And he was the kind of player, Clinton, and you'll know this better than anyone having played for that club, that if you work your socks off, you run hard and you're committed and you put tackles in, then you tend to be liked by that crowd.
You're 100% spot on, Chris, and he was liked by that, because he always gave 100%. It's a bit different now at the World Cup, because now he needs to get on the ball and actually show his quality on the ball.
He's got 1 Croatia cap, as Ivan Sunjic, switched in 2024, and there are a lot of the Bosnian players that have caps for other countries, didn't really push on, and now play for Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Ivan Sunjic is one of them. Esmir Badrak Tarovic, who's on the bench, has had a USA cap. He was born in the US, but now turns out for Bosnia and Herzegovina. He's a player that we may well see in the second half if the score remains 0-0.
You know, you say a cap, is that must be a friendly then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if it was in a... so the rules have changed, isn't it? It's crazy now, like you can have 1 cap and then you can just switch allegiances, but it's helped Bosnia, definitely.
There's lots of nations that it has helped in this World Cup. 0-0, Switzerland, Bosnia and Herzegovina, 5 live in BBC Sounds. The game is pretty much picked off picked up where it left off in the first half, and that's Switzerland with very patient and probing possession, but not doing a huge amount with it. They win this free kick midway inside the Bosnia half. Switzerland kicking from right to left. The Los Angeles Stadium, this vast arena of football that holds just shy of 70,000. 8 games it hosts, including a quarter-final. Switzerland with the ball on the left, and Ndoye, clever first touch from the Forest winger, now into the penalty area, right foot shot, front post, well saved by Vasil. Better from Ndoye. His end product was lacking in the first half. That was much more like it.
Yeah, we've had a shot, and that's the most pleasing thing that Ndoye does ever so well. Comes onto his right foot. He's never going to beat Vasil, but at least you're testing him and working the goalkeeper.
And as producer Joe was pointing out at half-time, only one game in this World Cup has finished goalless, and it was probably the game that you least expected to finish goalless. Spain and Cape Verde.
Oh, what a game. What you know what? I'll have to be honest with you. I was a bit emotional at the end watching that, especially for the goalkeeper. He was brilliant, wasn't he?
The senior was incredible, yeah. And now his social media following has gone through the roof.
I heard it's gone through the roof. Literally, he's into the millions at the moment.
Comfortably. I think he's on sort of double figures millions now, isn't he?
That's amazing. Fair play to him.
Bosnia moving forward on their left-hand side. Not for long. Mirat Yakin in his large Dennis Taylor-like glasses with the grey hair would have appreciated a little bit more endeavour from Dan Ndoye. Actually, he was one of the players that he was having a big discussion with, wasn't he? We saw both of them on the monitor walk out, Yakin and Ndoye. And I wonder if the message was keep going, but a bit more quality in the final third, please.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably what he would have been saying.
Foul by Alej Begovic on Elvedi, just outside the Switzerland penalty area. The crowd have gone with it. The various shots that we see of very passionate Bosnia and Herzegovina fans. We actually saw, Clinton, a shot of a young girl with an Edin Dzeko face tattoo on her cheek.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah. See, it's quality. To be fair, you've got to get into the spirit and the World Cup spirit, and I think every fan has. And you were saying about the stadiums have been fantastic at the moment.
13.5 million followers now for the Cape Verde
and
goalkeeper.
He was on something like 20,000 followers or something. That's what you know what I need to do? I need to come out of retirement, play, score a goal, and everyone love me, and I get emotional at the end of the game, show my emotions, and then I'll be all right.
You need to play for Cape Verde in goal against a big nation and keep a clean sheet.
And make so many saves. He was outstanding, to be fair. Full credit to him.
Freuler, ball into the penalty area, headed goalwards by Abusha, and off Abusha last. Hint that it might have taken a nick off a Bosnia player, not to be, and it's a goal kick to Bosnia with 53 minutes played on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Clinton Morrison with us, former Republic of Ireland striker at the World Cup in Japan and South Korea 2002. Great memories. I know you didn't play as you would have wanted to, but I'm sure being there, I know that tournament for Ireland had its ups and downs.
No, yeah, but in the end it was positive. We'd done ever so well. We got knocked out by Spain, and we should have beat Spain. We missed a penalty in the normal stages and lost on penalties. But
Xhaka plays it just behind Reader, who is in a decent position on the edge of the penalty area, and Bosnia hack clear to halfway.
Yeah, but as a youngster going there, which I went, and having the experience, it was fantastic. And yeah, obviously the scenario of Roy Keane didn't help, but we kind of just stuck together, and we done ever so well. But yeah, I saw Roy last week, and we still talk about that now.
He must be bored of talking about it.
He is bored,
sure.
Yeah, we're all bored of talking about it, but everyone has to talk about it every time a World Cup comes around.
0-0 in Los Angeles. Switzerland beginning, though, to show a little bit more endeavour. And Ndoye's in the box again. Another right foot shot, deflection, corner. He's beginning to shoot more on sight, much more than he did in the first half.
No, he is, but he's got to move the ball there, because Chris is going into bodies, and I think Dzeko wanted a foul before that, but it's a good strong tackle from Akanji. Akanji gets in front, and then Dan Ndoye is there. He's one-on-one. I want him to shift it more. He didn't shift that, and it was comfortable for Katic and Sunic to make the block.
There are red shirts dotted all around the Los Angeles Stadium, but there is a high concentration of red shirts just behind the goal that Switzerland are attacking. There's a pocket in the first tier, and then a much bigger pocket in the third tier. This stadium runs into the 5s and 6s when it comes to the tiers. It keeps going and going with the giant infinity screen wrapping around, suspended from the glass roof. Switzerland corner, 0-0 with Bosnia, 5 live. In comes the corner, in towards the back post. That was headed away before a red shirt could get on the end of it. Xhaka feeds it back in. That's an overhead kick from Ndoye. Brilliant save, Vasil. Well, that was a staggering moment of quality in a game that has lacked quality. An overhead kick, brilliantly executed and really well saved.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's a good ball in from Xhaka, but Dan Ndoye does ever so well with the overhead kick. It is straight at Vasil, but it's still a good save from Vasil because from the distance and how close he was. Great technique from Dan Ndoye. Really unlucky.
Replay just shown on the infinity screen, and there were a few oohs and ahs. That would have been one of the goals of the tournament had that screamed past Nikola Vasil.
Now, it looks like he was offside.
The offside, well, that's typical, isn't it?
Yeah, and just when we see a bit of quality, he was offside. That sums it up, doesn't it, Chris?
And if that had gone in and the goal ruled out for offside, then that would have been a real shame.
Exactly, because as you said, it was a bit of quality from Dan Ndoye, but it's better. Even though it was offside, it's better play, and they're getting there, Switzerland, and they look like they're creating a bit more in the second half.
Switzerland 0, Bosnia 0. Both of these nations drawing their opening Group B game, and with Qatar to come later. Canada against Qatar, 11 o'clock kickoff here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. If this ends in a draw, well, there's a massive opportunity for one of Canada or Qatar to all but rubber stamp their place in the round of 32, and it would put real pressure on both of these nations going into the final round of matches, where Switzerland play the host Canada in Vancouver and Bosnia face Qatar in Seattle next Wednesday. Kolasinac, haven't really mentioned his name too much, given he's one of the stars of this nation. That is a surprise. Ball in from a central position isn't well hit, and that's out for a Switzerland goal kick.
Yeah, Kolasinac, they haven't had the ball enough, so he's had to do a lot of defending on that left-hand side. But you want to see him getting forward, like you used to see probably in his Arsenal days, where he would get forward, and yeah, he's a really strong defender.
Featured 118 times for Arsenal, did Sead Kolasinac. Got a goal on his debut against Chelsea in the Community Shield, but no goals for his country, 67 caps, and that did surprise me, given that I remember Kolasinac as being a defender that used to chip in with quite a few goals.
Yeah, he used to be a threat from set pieces, and he'd go and attack it, and he could get forward. And we saw in the first half when he got forward, and probably should have had a shot and tried to play in Dzeko.
Right, some sustained possession now for the white shirts of Bosnia and Herzegovina, which we didn't say a great deal in the first half. They're just working it from right to left across their back line at the moment, and it is with Aleš Begovic on that far side, cutting in field on his left foot. The 18-year-old Sunjic is close by, short pass to him. Then the give and go with Tahirovic, and Bosnia working it nicely on their left wing. Memic turns away from his man, wins the throw, takes it quickly. Demirovic was the willing runner, but Elvedi comes across and puts an end to that. Bosnia have a throw level with the edge of the Switzerland penalty area.
When you look at Memic, it looks like sometimes when I look at it, he lacks quality on the ball. Like every time he's turning into people, and he has to be better in possession. First time I've seen him actually play, and I think he's got to be a better player than that.
He's had a rapid rise, there's Amir Memic, from the Bosnian second tier, then to Slovenia, then the Czech Republic, and only made his national team debut last year, and he's in the team fairly regularly these days. Ndoye, whose overhead kick just a couple of moments ago, has certainly sparked the crowd into life, and the first yellow card of the game is brandished to Amir Dedic for a little shirt pull on Dan Ndoye, who was accelerating away from him midway through the Bosnia half.
Yeah, it's good play in Ndoye. He's probably been the best player on the pitch, because he's not lacked the quality in the final third, but he's the one that's been positive, got into good areas, and Dedic is now on a yellow card. Be interested to see what Bosnia do, because if I'm Switzerland, I'm giving the ball to Dan Ndoye and saying run him every time you get the ball. Not
one of those already on a yellow card, Dedic, so will be safe to play in the next game, providing he doesn't get another one in this game, of course. Switzerland don't really do a great deal with that free kick, as very weak sunshine in Los Angeles. We can just about make out the shadow of the various grand architecture that sweeps around this stadium, so very faint shadows of the players. It is, what are we now, an hour in, so it's what, 1:20 in the afternoon in Los Angeles. Still very pleasant temperatures, and that's the other side of it. Clinton. You can't really blame the heat. We're watching a replay of the Dan and Doy offside. Given the goal didn't go in, I'm quite surprised we're seeing a little graphic of that while the game is going on, because there's another yellow card here. Dzeko's gone into the book for a late challenge on the edge of the penalty area on Manuel Akanji. That's a nasty little stamp on the foot. There was no malice to it, but a yellow card now for Edin Dzeko, who joins Dedic in the book.
Nah, it's just it's a typical striker challenge. It's just a lazy challenge, and he catches Akanji on the top of the boot, so he deserves the yellow card there.
I think the director decided there that the game had been that dull that he would liven it up by showing us a VAR offside graphic.
Yeah, I know, because he was off.
And who doesn't love a VAR offside graphic?
Yeah, we love it, don't we?
0-0 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Bosnia, edge of the penalty area, left-hand side, but Switzerland have several players back to defend. The long ball to Embolo, who's been very quiet in this game. He wins a free kick there. Tarek Muharemovic in far too quickly. Free kick Switzerland with the blonde highlights. Muharemovic didn't really agree with that decision, waved his arms in frustration at João Pinheiro, our Portuguese referee. Switzerland getting on with it quickly. Xhaka thought about shooting from all of 35 yards. With his right foot plays it smoothly to Ndoye, left of the penalty area. Ndoye in field, better from Switzerland. The give and go with Rieder, and then Bosnia in front of Ndoye before he could shoot. He is the danger man for Switzerland, and he's won his nation another corner.
Yeah, he has. It's good defending from Dedic there. Again, he matches the run, but he's the most likely. Rieder tries to feed him, and Dedic does defend ever so well.
This game could really do with something from Switzerland here to bring Bosnia and Herzegovina out of their shell. Abasha's corner into the front post and headed off the line. It was the header from Embolo, clawed off the line by Vasil. Referee's whistle has gone here because Dzeko was fouled, but that was very nearly the opening goal. Corner into the front post. The header from, well, a combination of Embolo and Katic, you're right.
It's a good save.
And Vasil made the save.
Yeah, it's a good save from Vasil. It just looks like he's sneaking in off the post, and yeah, Embolo and Katic go together, and it looks like he has to be sure of it. It might hit the post and come out, but he has to deal with it, Vasil, and he does ever so well. Yeah, it's a good save.
Yeah, it wasn't to know. It may well have just hit the post and bounced to safety, but important that he made that save. Now, Edin Dzeko's game is over, so we are seeing the first changes of the game. And it is Esmir Bajraktarevic, 1 USA cap to his name. Scored the winning penalty against Italy to book Bosnia's place at this World Cup. So Dzeko is coming off, Bajraktarevic is on, and there's a change in midfield as well, with Benjamin Tahirovic replaced by Ivan Basic, who was actually Bosnia's most creative player in their opening group game against Canada, and there was a noticeable decrease in attacking numbers when he was taken off the field. He started the game against Canada, was taken off around this point actually in the first game, the Astana midfielder. So maybe he can provide some more creative flair moving forward for Bosnia and Herzegovina. So the first two changes, Clinton with 63 minutes played.
Yeah, I thought they needed to make the change on Bosnia. They were struggling. They just needed a bit of fresh legs. Dzeko's, he's at 40, but he's put a shift in up front, and it's the right time.
Bajraktarevic gets his body in between ball and Vidma. Did that well, actually, the youngster, with his socks down low. Not quite Jack Grealish low, but certainly lower than most of his teammates. Sunjic plays it backwards of square, and now Katic can keep the move progressing to this near side, the right. Amir Dedic running at Ndoye, coming cross-country, back into the centre circle. Smooth pass from Muharemovic to Dedic. Bosnia in their white shirts, going from left to right. Not really troubling Switzerland when they play like this. This is the kind of football that Switzerland have been playing throughout the game, and now it's Bosnia's turn to enjoy some touches. First touch of the game for Esmir Bajraktarevic, the PSV Eindhoven winger. He played 73 minutes of the opening game before he was taken off with 20 minutes to play against Canada. Kolasinac continues his run from left-back, gets it back from Alaj Begovic and wins the free kick for his side. Elvedi made the challenge. He goes into the book. And Bosnia have this free kick in a dangerous position.
Yeah, and it looks like the substitutions that gave them a bit of a spark. You see Kolasinac, we haven't really seen him venture forward all evening and all afternoon, sorry, and now all of a sudden he's getting forward and trying to make things happen.
Seeing another replay of that Vasil save at the front post. May have just been creeping wide, but he certainly wasn't to know. So Nico Elvedi's name into the book, announced to the crowd. Not come across that before, yellow card announcements to the crowd.
No, yeah, they do that quite a bit now, don't they? It's something that you could get used to it, couldn't you?
You've got to do it in a very somber tone,
yeah,
though.
you have to.
In comes the free kick, not a good one, headed away, penalty spot area. Needed to be slightly better from the recently introduced Ivan Basic. He might get another chance here. It won't be a free kick, but there will be a throw for Bosnia. Level with the edge of the Switzerland box. They take it quickly. Basic with a neat spin away. Now sets off towards the edge of the penalty area. Kolasinac, direct ball, controlled neatly by Bajrak Tarovic, who's cropped up on that far side, the left. Alaj goes through a few players, does Alaj Begovic. Doesn't win the free kick. Referee was close by. Waves play on. Bosnia playing a sequence of very short, intricate passes here, but all in a very tight and congested area, just to the left of the penalty area. Bosnia have a player down, but referee waves play on because the white shirts still have the ball, but not for long, because it's put out of play to enable treatment to the stricken Kolasinac, who's just on the edge of the Switzerland penalty area.
Yeah, but I can guarantee he'll get up, and he will get up. I don't understand. He should have just got up. His team still had possession. Unless he's got a serious injury, he would have to go off the pitch, but he's actually all right, Kolasinac. I think he was just trying to win a free kick. There might have been the slightest of contact, but it's not benefited him or his team now, because Switzerland will just kick the ball back.
And if he waits a matter of seconds, then he'll have 3 minutes to wait, because we have hit the midpoint.
There you go.
Of the second half.
Hydration.
And we all know what that means.
Hydration time. Tactic time.
Tactic time, whatever you want to call it. Advert time,
exactly.
Probably is the correct phrase. Not yet, though. We are going to play a further minute. Switzerland 0, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0. 5 live. Also available via the BBC Sounds app, which I'm sure is doing a roaring trade if you've been taking your device to bed to listen to the various overnight commentaries. Switzerland win the ball back here in a good position. It's Ndoye, edge of the D, onto his left foot, fouled right on the edges. He went down theatrically, but referee Pinheiro had no interest in giving that. And now Bosnia and Herzegovina can stride forward in the white shirts. It's with Kerim Alaj-Begovic, the 18-year-old, crosses with his right foot. Good-looking ball headed away by Akanji, who was far too wise to fall for that. Still, though, Bosnia coming forward. Right foot shot is well hit by Dedic and saved by Kerbal. That moved in the air. What looked a fairly straightforward save turned into a difficult one. Kerbal makes the save. Dedic waves to the fans, tries to get them off their feet. Much better from Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Welcome to the game, Bosnia. They've not been non-existent, but they've turned up now, just in time for the hydration break. But great shot from Dedic, and you're right, Kerbal with a really good save. The ball is moving at the end of the day, but the two substitutions have livened up the game.
Yeah, they certainly have. Bajrak Tarovic and Basic have both had an influence. So the second half hydration break, Sergei Barbarez very aggressively back-slapping his players, and he'll impart some words of wisdom. So we can shoot around the various other high-profile sporting events going on. One in the US, it is golf's US Open from Shinnecock Hills Golf Club, and here's Ian Carter.
A very breezy Shinnecock Hills, but Aaron Rai, the recent winner of the PGA Championship from Wolverhampton, has made a good start here. 2 under par after his first 4 holes. He's instantaneously into a share of the lead. No fewer than 6 players at 2 under par. In the clubhouse, Sam Stevens. There are a couple of amateurs, Ryder Cowan and Preston Stout. Bryson DeChambeau with 2 early birdies as well, so he's at 2 under par. And Wyndham Clark, the winner 3 years ago, he is also 2 under par. He's played 3 holes, so very early in their rounds. As for Rory McIlroy, it was a 1 under par 69 despite a bogey finish, matching Ludwig Aubert.
Ian, thank you very much indeed. And to Headingley, the Women's T20 World Cup, Scotland chasing down West Indies' total of 153. We can join 5 Sports Extra and Henry Moran.
154 the target. Scotland 103 for 5. And from a fabulous position, they've rather squandered an opportunity now with 51 needed from 27 deliveries. Darcy Carter still there, 49 of 52, alongside Elsa Lister, but they've got to find a way of accelerating here. Scotland required rate over 11. They need 51 from 27.
Henry, thank you very much indeed. 5 Sports Extra for that. 5 Sports Extra tomorrow for day 3 of England-New Zealand from the Oval. England closing on 222 for 6, which will please fans of Richie Beno. That was Richie Beno's famous choo-choo-choo for 6. 5 Sports Extra for that 11 a.m. start, and tomorrow looks like it's going to be a good day for batting tomorrow, Clinton, by all accounts.
Well, yeah. And the thing is England have got tail-enders in. Well, Jofra Archer can bat. We've seen him do that numerous times, and he's with Jordan Cox, who's on debut. But after that, they don't have much left, so they need to get a few runs.
11 a.m. tomorrow on 5 Sports Extra. Day 4 of Royal Ascot also to enjoy from 2 o'clock on Sports Extra 3. And the live tennis also continues tomorrow on BBC 2 and iPlayer. Coverage of the men's quarter-finals from 1 o'clock on BBC television. Now, changes, and plenty of them for Switzerland. We are going to witness the very exciting Johan Manzambi, also Ruben Vargas, and Djibril Sow gets his first appearance of the tournament as well. So Johan Manzambi replaces Dan Ndoye. That's like for like. Manzambi, very exciting Freiburg winger, 20 years old, big discovery for Switzerland. Big things expected of him. Dan Ndoye's game is over. Djibril Sow, the Sevilla attacking midfielder who had a great season for Sevilla in La Liga, he is on to replace Michael Aebischer, and also coming on Ruben Vargas, who started the game against Qatar, is on to replace Fabian Rieder. So like for like all across the pitch, Clinton, and in Johan Manzambi there's someone there that you would have seen and no doubt enjoyed the brief cameo that he had last time.
Yeah, he's going to be a star. He's Deno's pick to be one of the superstars of the tournament, young superstars. Ian Dennis picked him out, so I kind of went and looked up about him, and yeah, he's a good player. But I can understand the substitutions, but I can't understand how he's not brought on Okafor. So if he's fit enough to be on the bench, he's fit enough to come off the bench. Vargas started the last game and Ndoye started the last game. Bring a player on who can make an effect, and Okafor can make an effect. He had an outstanding season at Leeds, so I'm so surprised. I'd love someone to ask the manager if it is an injury, because if you're on the bench, that means you're fit enough to come off.
It is an intriguing one, Noah Okafor, given, as we mentioned in the first half, he has a patchy relationship with
Well, don't pick him if you've got a patchy relationship. Do you know what I mean? And don't bring him to the World Cup, because he probably took someone else's space, because he's a player who can come onto the pitch and make a difference.
He didn't play at Euro 24. That was the crux of the matter. Noah Okafor really unhappy with that. So he criticised Murat Yakin in the press. Didn't play then for 2 years. Murat Yakin ignored him. But then Murat Yakin visited Ellen Road, February time, and cleared the air. And then Noah Okafor apologised to his team and his teammates, called up to the squad, yet we've not seen him. So unless it's an injury, Vargas for Switzerland into the box, low ball in, gets us another chance here, not very well cleared, lifted to the back post, Katic heads away, and the volley is in, and there is the opening goal of the game, and it's Johan Manzambi who announces himself on the world stage with a fabulous volley. It's a crucial Switzerland goal, and the substitute has worked within moments. Switzerland 1, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0.
Yeah, it's a brilliant finish from Manzambi. A fantastic technique, a great volley into that far corner. It's good play down the left-hand side, and yeah, the youngster who's come on, and he needed to make changes because they weren't doing anything, Switzerland. Even though they were dominating possession, they weren't a threat. It was Bosnia that were being a threat, but he starts it, Manzambi, plays it to Vargas, and eventually the cross comes in. And once he's in that penalty box, it's a fantastic volley and great technique to give Switzerland the lead.
Brilliant technique. Keeper got a hand to it, Vasil, but such was the power of the volley. He could only parry it into the top corner. And the 20-year-old Johan Manzambi, on cap number 14, scores goal number 4. His celebration, he points to the camera, mouths something into it with his dreadlocks bouncing. Now a replay of Murat Yakin and the Switzerland fans. They've had to wait a long time for that. But Johan Manzambi has ignited Los Angeles Stadium. And it's a big goal for Switzerland. And now the onus on Bosnia and Herzegovina to find something in this game. It'll be a nervy position if they end this game with no points. They would be on 1 after 2 games, not out of the tournament, given 8 third-place teams will progress. But it gives them all sorts of work to do against Qatar. But a fine moment, Clinton.
A fine moment, brilliant finish. And what they need to do now is Bosnia. We needed a goal in this game because I feel like they've been sitting back, Bosnia. Now they have to come out and try and get something out of the game, and then there'll be spaces and we could get more goals and chances. They need to make more changes, I think, as well. They've only made 2, but need a bit more of attacking threat.
Ian Dennis knows his stuff, doesn't he?
He does. No, I don't like to tell him that, but he does.
Great moment for Johan Manzambi. And a great moment for Switzerland. Only made his Switzerland debut last year. Got a goal and assist on debut against one of the hosts, USA. Had a great season for Freiburg. And there is a reason that he is one of quite a few players actually in this tournament, as is the case at every major tournament, that the big clubs are having a little look at to see whether or not they might throw Freiburg a check with quite a few zeros on the end of it. If he has a good tournament, I'm sure Freiburg will be licking their lips. He's made an impact on this game, and we've got 15 minutes to play.
Yeah, he has. He's made a big impact, and he'll be knocking the door saying, I want to start matches, because he came on the other day and he was bright, but it was a brilliant finish, and if this is the winning goal, then yeah, he's made a huge impact.
Oh, loose touch at the back from Muharemovic, very nearly allowed Embolo in quickly, but before he could cause any damage, that was cleared, and a good job too, because otherwise he was clean through on goal. Breel Embolo. Bosnia building from the back, sunshine still out in Los Angeles. We can just about make out the shadows of the infrastructure. Such actually is the cut of the grass. It is a little bit jarring watching the grass and then looking at all the various jaggedy shadows down below. Must be quite a tough job for the assistant referees to look across the line, as Nikola Vasil in the Bosnia and Herzegovina goal has it on the edge of his own penalty area. Canada, Qatar to come. 11 o'clock UK time. Dion Dublin with Vicky Sparks for the hosts' second game of the competition, having drawn their opener against Bosnia and Herzegovina. 2 a.m. Mexico, South Korea, the 2 winners from the opening round of matches in Group A. The other 2 teams drawing earlier in a game that Ian Dennis was at with Dean Smith. Good to hear Dean Smith, the former Aston Villa manager, now at Charlotte. That finished 1-1, so a real opportunity for Mexico and South Korea to cement their place in the next round with a win. Here's Manzambi, a rise in expectation as the youngster and goal scorer gets on the ball right at the penalty area. Left-footed ball into the box, laid off to Xhaka. Lovely give and go. It was a nice idea between Granit Xhaka and Remo Freuler, but just in the nick of time, Bosnia managed to clear their lines. There's a definite swagger now to the way Switzerland are playing because of the introduction of Manzambi, but also, I guess, Clinton, the comfort of a 1-goal lead.
Yeah. You can see they've got the confidence. Bosnia are playing too slow. The tempo's too slow. Manager has to make changes. Because they're not doing anything to create anything for Switzerland. Against Switzerland, sorry. So they need to be better. They're losing the ball too easy. For me, when I've watched Bosnia today, they've been very weak in possession and been pushed off the ball far too easily.
They were renowned in qualifying for a very combative style, front-footed, quick, lovely ball. Manzambi, Embolo is in. That's a great challenge, is it? Oh, flag is up. No, red card has come out here. Referee has sent off Tarik Muharemovic for taking down Briel Embolo when he was clean through on goal. I thought he got the ball on first look, then he glanced to his assistant referee, looked like he was going to put the flag up, and then the red card came out. So VAR pending, Switzerland lead this game 1-0, and Bosnia-Herzegovina are down to 10 men.
Yeah, seeing the replay, he doesn't get any of the ball. He doesn't. He catches him ball out, and it's the right decision. He's in on goal. He catches him. He doesn't get anything off the ball. It's the right decision by the referee. The linesman kind of noted the referee, and yeah, it's the right decision to send him on. It's not a penalty. It's just on the edge of the box.
Which I think was the reason for the glance across to the assistant referee. It wasn't for offside. It was that inside the box, and it wasn't. It was right on the edge of the penalty area. And Tarik Muharemovic, the Sassuolo centre-back, one of Bosnia's better players, actually. There's interest in him, but he is off, and that could be the end of his tournament. He will be suspended for Bosnia's final group game against Qatar. What a chance this is for Switzerland to make sure of the 3 points. 10 minutes to play on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. They have a one-man advantage, and now they have this free kick right on the edge of the penalty area, just slightly left of centre.
Yeah, it looks like it's Vargas or Xhaka over it. It looks like it should be a right footer, so it should be Vargas who probably is going to step up.
It is prime for the right footer. One of the substitutions, Ruben Vargas, is over this. So too Xhaka. It is Vargas! Hits it well, but straight at the goalkeeper. And Nikola Vasil punches with great authority. In comes the cross from the second ball. Headed away only as far as Manzambi, exchanges passes with fellow substitute Vargas, and Switzerland can continue to keep the pressure on. Vargas, short pass, Manzambi, full of energy, running at Memic, round Memic, crossing off Katic, Switzerland corner, and now they hold all the cards in this Group B encounter, leading 1-0, and one extra man.
Yeah, Vargas with the shot, and Vasil with a comfortable save. You expect him, but the thing is Switzerland subs have worked. They've come on and they gave them an energy, gave them a spark, scored that crucial goal, and Bosnia's subs haven't worked, and now they're down to 10 men. For me, that it should be game over.
Vargas is over this corner, near side, the left. Switzerland fans all behind that goal. The pocket of red. In comes the corner. Goalkeeper comes. Another good punch. Sends it a good way out of the penalty area. No one really up front for Bosnia, so it's not sticking up there, and comfortable defending from Granit Xhaka, who prods it back in to the centre circle. As producer Joe points out, it's the first red card since the 3 we saw in the very first game. And if memory serves me, I think there were only 4 red cards in the entirety of Qatar 2022. So we've matched it already, and we've only just begun the second round of group games.
No. It's crazy, isn't it? It is crazy.
It is, isn't it?
It is crazy. It's crazy. But that is a red card. I think the referee makes the right decision. Yep. He's in on goal, and as soon as you make the contact, he calls it ever so well.
Yep, he didn't get the ball, and VAR wouldn't have taken too long to agree with the referee. Free kick, red card, because it was a clear and obvious, or a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Straight red card, and Tarik Muharemovic's game is over, and he'll desperately hope that's not his World Cup over. For that to happen, it's looking increasingly likely that Bosnia and Herzegovina will need to beat Qatar in the final round of group games next Wednesday. An 8 o'clock kickoff in Seattle. At the same time, Switzerland taking on Canada in Vancouver. Canada taking on Qatar at 11 o'clock on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And in the early hours of the morning, the co-hosts back in action. Mexico against South Korea. That'll be a good game based on the quality of the opening 2 games that they enjoyed. Mexico beating South Africa, South Korea beating Czech Republic. Lee Blakeman and Charlie Adam with you in the wee small hours on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. So Switzerland, Clinton, as you'd expect, are monopolising possession now. Xhaka inside the centre circle, and if they're sensible here, 3 points are theirs. Manzambi's on the right edge of the box. Good ball in, and Bolo tried the dummy, which was a nice idea. Now the ball to Vargas, and there is the second goal. And Switzerland are surely winning this now. 2 substitutions have scored the 2 goals to give Switzerland the 3 points over 10-man Bosnia, and Murat Yakin is looking far happier now. Vargas into the corner. Switzerland 2, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0.
Yeah, Manzambi again does well. He's done ever so well. The youngster's got a bright impact. He just plays it to Vargas, and the finish from Vargas is outstanding. He just bends it into that far corner. Fantastic finish, and yeah, Bosnia are not happy, and Katic is going mad, but doesn't he shouldn't be getting mad. He should be defending it. He's other centre-backs let him down by being sent off, and they've not been good enough, to be fair. Switzerland thoroughly deserved to win.
Embolo made it, and Vargas just opened up his body, guided it into the far corner for his 12th Switzerland goal on cap number 63, the Sevilla winger. A regular starter for Switzerland, but off the bench this afternoon. And that will be the game for sure now for Switzerland. It took them a while to get going. That moment of quality from the young substitute Johan Manzambi, then the red card, and now Vargas has made sure, as we see a replay of Murat Yakin jumping up for joy, hugging his coaching staff. It's a big win for Switzerland, and with 4 points, all but guarantees them a place in the round of 32.
Yeah, and listen, they've been the most likely, have shown the quality. Do I think this performance they'll beat Canada? I'm not quite sure, because I still think Canada kind of had that X factor, but it's a brilliant result for Switzerland. Just where I'm looking in the first half, and I was thinking this could end up 0-0. Told you we'd get goals, Chris.
Oh, you were right all along. We were wrong to doubt you. It's taken until the 74th minute, though. But you're right. You promised goals, Clinton.
I was getting nervous.
Yeah. Goals have been delivered. Changes in the midst of all of that. One apiece for Bosnia and Herzegovina. Ivan Sunjic is off the field. And we glance Amir Hadjimetovic, who you'll all know had that great season with Hull City. Big part in their promotion to the Premier League, albeit missed the final few months of the season with an injury picked up against Birmingham City in April. Actually, the World Cup looked impossible for him, but did really well to work his way back up to full fitness. Was an unused sub in the playoff final win at Wembley against Middlesbrough. And Switzerland have made a change as well. Sylvain Widmer is off at right back, and Lucas Jaquez, the Stuttgart defender, is on for his first minutes of the World Cup.
And Lukic has come on, and you said he scored in the last game, Lukic did, yeah? Is that right, Chris? So Lukic is...
And you're right,
yeah.
Jovan Lukic has also come on for Ermedin Demirovic.
I'm surprised he didn't start this game. Lukic is a really good footballer, but he's on a yellow card, so you probably didn't want him to miss the last game, as you said earlier on.
Manzambi crosses for Switzerland, looked dangerous for a moment, but Vasil claims at the front post. Yeah, Jovan Lukic, who scored Bosnia's goal against Canada, may feel a little aggrieved that didn't earn him a start in the second game.
Yeah, or as you say, he's on the yellow card and he gets booked and he misses the last game against Qatar, which they will probably have to win if they want to get through.
He's one of the real success stories of Bosnian football, is Jovan Lukic. Only just recently broken into the setup. Ball flashed across goal. It's all Switzerland now. Embolo, who'll be desperate to add to his tally, having scored the goal against Qatar in the opening game. Couldn't quite get on the end of that. Ball is out of play because there's a man down. Looks like Johan Manzambi, actually, the youngster, is on the edge of the D. Just having a look at the replay to see how that happened. Doesn't appear to be anyone close to him, so it must have been the after effects of a challenge earlier in the play. He's okay.
He's okay. The young man will be okay.
Breel Embolo's game is over. That was his last action of the game, so he is being replaced. He turns to all four sides of the vast Los Angeles stadium, applauds the fans, and Cedric Itten, formerly of Rangers, comes on to play the final few moments. Won the Scottish Premiership and the Scottish Cup in a two-season spell. This is his first major tournament, now playing in the second tier of German football, Bundesliga 2, for Fortuna Düsseldorf. He was well liked at Rangers.
Yeah, he was, and he can score goals, Cedric Itten. He's a goal scorer, but it's just Embolo. He's the main man for Switzerland. I think everything goes through him, so his minutes will probably be limited, whether they're losing the game or trying to chase the game, that you'll see him on the pitch, because it would always be Embolo that's starting up front.
Yeah, 5 goals in just 15 caps for Cedric Itten. Still relatively fledgling in his Switzerland career, but he scored plenty of goals. Manzambi darting through the central third of the field in plenty of space. Lovely turn. Hooks the ball towards Lucas Jaquez, one of the other substitutes by the corner flag. No real need to press forward now for Switzerland, and they're quite content to keep the ball across their midfield. Akanji spreads it to Rodriguez, scorer of the second goal now Vargas, and back in field to Xhaka. Lovely give and go. Vargas into the box. This would seal it for Switzerland. Manzambi again. Brilliant Switzerland goal. And the substitutes combine to secure the 3 points for Switzerland with a lovely third goal. They rip through Bosnia and Herzegovina there. Vargas to Manzambi, his second of the game. Switzerland's third. And it's 3 points for the Swiss. They lead 3-0.
Yeah, Manzambi, and we talked about him being a talent. We got to credit Vargas as well. The substitutions have been brilliant. Credit to the manager. He's brought them on, and they've had a big impact. The little ball in from down in between the two defenders from Xhaka is brilliant. Everyone makes it look easy. And can Vargas get his head up? Yes, he can. And Manzambi's in there, and it's a really good finish from the young man. He just holds his run. Brilliant play from Vargas. Opens out his foot, right foot, and just caresses it into that bottom corner. Goals? I told you we'll have goals.
We always believed you. Switzerland have scored all 3 as we enter 6 minutes of additional time. A smile as wide as the infinity screen at the Los Angeles Stadium on the face of Johan Manzambi. In the space of 16 second-half minutes, a bit more than that, he has scored his 4th and his 5th goals for his country on his 14th cap. And this is why there's lots of noise about him. Took the first one really well on the volley. That one a slightly easier finish, just had to use the pace of Vargas's cross. But if you are the head coach, Murat Yakin, then you can afford to give yourself a pat on the back, because there's no doubt the changes have made all the difference. Vargas and Manzambi.
Yeah, definitely. Coaches and managers get criticised quite a lot for making the wrong decision. He's made the right decision. He's brought on 2 players that have had a massive impact and changed the game for Switzerland, because it would look like we weren't going to get any goals, and they give you that added extra threat. And that is why they could be a threat, Switzerland, at this tournament, because they've got players that can come off the bench and can make an impact.
Bosnia and Herzegovina have made another change, and the youngster is off. Kerim Alej Begovic has come onto the field, and Ermin Mamic is on to win just his 3rd cap. The 21-year-old Slovan Liberec midfielder. And an opportunity for both nations now, with the game gone, maybe to give minutes to players who either are still making their way in the early stages or need some minutes for future games. In Switzerland's case, the changes they've made were very much to win the game, and that's exactly what Ruben Vargas and Johan Manzambi have done. Loose touch from Manuel Akanji, though, allows Bosnia to come forward, and they do have this corner with 4 minutes of added on time to play on 5 Live. Goal difference could yet play a part in the 3rd place team, so Bosnia will be well advised to keep pushing.
Yeah, and try and get a goal, because they've conceded 3 goals, and that will be the biggest disappointment from them.
Amir Hadjimetovic is over this, the whole midfielder on loan from Besiktas, so we'll see what happens with him in the off-season. Brilliant volley, what a finish that is. Bosnia-Herzegovina do have a goal, and Ermin Mamic, well, it's a game for the substitutes. Off the bench to volley home the second ball from a corner. It flew past Kerbal. There's no clean sheet for Switzerland, and 1 back for Bosnia and Herzegovina, courtesy of a Mamic screamer. 3-1.
What a strike, Chris, from Mamic. It's brilliant. You look at all these substitutions that have come on and made an impact. You're thinking, why are these lot not starting? Why are they not starting? But they clear the ball, and when it comes to Mamic, it is a fantastic strike, because that is great technique. He comes out on the volley, and he just cuts across it, and he gives Kerbal no chance. He takes a step to the right, Kerbal, but the strike from Mamic is outstanding. He cuts across it. Brilliant finish.
Some way to score your first Bosnia and Herzegovina goal. He hit that beautifully on the volley. Clearance not far enough out. No one on Mamic, and he put his laces through it and gets Bosnia on the board. 3-1 now, but maybe all a little too late, with only 2 and a bit minutes of added on time to play.
No, yeah, I think it's special for him to get his first goal, and obviously in a big major tournament like a World Cup. But, and as you said, it could go to goal difference, Chris, and you know that's a big goal for them. It kind of cuts it, because the deficit, because it was 3 goals and now it's to 2.
But it's the damage done by mainly Johan Manzambi, who is the first player to score 2 or more goals in a World Cup match for Switzerland as a substitute. He'll be setting many more records based on the 20 minutes or so that we have seen. So Switzerland 3, Bosnia and Herzegovina 1. That, of course, will take Switzerland to the top of Group B, ahead of Canada's meeting with Qatar, which follows us, an 11 o'clock kickoff with Vicky Sparks and Dion Dublin. It would leave Bosnia and Herzegovina on 1 point, and with a -2 goal difference. 1 point, I think it's safe to say, will not get you through as a third-place team.
No.
Win 4 points gives you every opportunity.
Yeah, I think 4 points is going to give you I think most teams that go through will be on 4 points. I think there might be a couple that get through with 3 points, but I think the majority will have to get 4 points to get through in that third place.
It does mean that the final round of group games, there will be those that quite like the format and those that are against it. It does mean that there's a lot more jeopardy now on the final round of group matches. There have been some tournaments when the first 2 teams have won both games and are on 6 points and the other 2 on 0 points. It's difficult to get excited about the third group game. Here goes Switzerland looking for a 4th. Ball into the penalty area by Itten, was just behind several players. That looks like a penalty. Late challenge on the advancing Switzerland player, and referee Pinheiro points straight to the spot. It was Memic dangling a leg.
Oh, you know what? You know when you see a player, he says he gets the ball. Memic thinks he's confident he gets the ball. But it's good play from Eaton. He makes a run in, and I think it's on... Yeah, it is. It's on Sau, I think. It's Sau he makes the tackle on, but he doesn't touch him. I think when you watch the replay again, Sau, he doesn't touch him, does he? I don't think he touches him. I think he misses the ball completely. He gets his back leg.
There's a little...
Yeah, it's his back leg he gets.
It was only the final replay
The
that
final
we saw.
replay, yeah, he gets his back leg.
Otherwise, I was inclined to agree with you. So I don't think this is going to be overturned. VAR will not be advising João Pinheiro to come to the screen. From the replays we saw, it did look like no contact, but that final one, there was just the trailing leg on Djibril Sow, the Sevilla midfielder. So, an opportunity for Switzerland to put the cherry on the icing on a cake that Switzerland looked like securing ever since Manzambi's introduction. And Granit Xhaka, on cap number 148, stands over this penalty. Embolo scored a penalty in game 1. Xhaka stands over this in game 2, and to give Switzerland a 4-1 win, Xhaka scores, thumps it into the bottom left corner. Vasil went the right way, but Xhaka imperiously finds the corner. He then, with his right hand, does the chatter motion as if to say all the noise beforehand, but that's a fine way to silence your critics. Left foot into the corner, and Switzerland now lead Bosnia by 4 goals to 1.
Yeah, never in doubt from Xhaka. He's had a really good game, and it's a good finish into that bottom corner. It'd be interesting to see what the celebration's about, all the talking, but yeah, it's a fantastic finish. And if Mbolo's on there, maybe he takes the penalty, but it's a confident penalty from Xhaka into that bottom corner.
And that is that. The final action of the game was the Granit Xhaka penalty, and Switzerland have their first win of the 2026 World Cup. They had to wait a long time for it, but the substitutions from Murat Yakin really made the difference as these Switzerland players now in a huddle in front of their fans. The introduction of Johan Manzambi and Ruben Vargas really did swing the course of a game that was meandering towards a 0-0 draw. Manzambi, the 20-year-old, a fine volley to open the scoring. Vargas then with a fine finish into the corner. All of that after a Bosnia red card for Tarik Muharemovic for taking down Embolo just outside the penalty area. It was a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Out came the red card. Vargas then for 2-0 into the corner. Manzambi added a third. Vargas squaring it to the youngster. There was still time for Bosnia to find a goal. Brilliant volley from Marmic on his introduction from the bench, his first goal for Bosnia and Herzegovina, but Granit Xhaka from the penalty spot to really wrap it up in style for Switzerland. A commanding win by 4 goals to 1. Clinton, you said there'd be goals, and we've seen 5 of them, and Switzerland comfortable winners.
Never doubt me, Chris. I always say that. No, I just had a feeling, listen, after the first half, I was a bit worried because it lacked quality, but I did say it could be won and lost from the bench, and I think the bench has made a big difference. Credit to Switzerland. He made the changes, the manager.